Salah, he's racked up an incredible 193 goals at Liverpool Premier League titles, Champions League, or really the whole 9 yards, right?
Right.
But even legends have their heroes, and before Anfield,
Right.
a younger Salah, he was learning his craft in Italy, first at Fiorentina, then at Roma, and this is where the story takes a fascinating turn.
It really does. It's really interesting, isn't it? You think that someone with Salah's talent would be looking up to, other Premier League giants, right? Some of the huge names in England, but his hero was not a Liverpool legend.
Right.
It was Francesco Totti.
Yeah.
A name that's just synonymous with Roma.
Oh, yeah.
A player whose loyalty and artistry made him so mythical.
Okay, so picture this. You're in Rome, 2015. The Colosseum is great. Everywhere you look. And then there's Salah. He's fresh on the scene at Roma. He meets Totti, who's already a veteran at 37 years old. But age was never right? He's out there just casually showcasing skills, accidentally passes like it was nothing.
Bro,
And
يبيع
I
لك
can just
وستشتي
imagine a young Mo Salah just
ولك
watching
وستشتي
him completely lost.
يبيع سوا
Salah has even
Ah.
said, quote, Totti was my idol. Even at 37, his skill was unreal. And think about it. Salah has played with Van Dijk, Alisson, Alexander-Arnold Robertson.
Yeah.
Top tier talent.
Absolutely.
Jamie Carragher.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yet it's Totti. It's a special place in Salah's heart.
It's interesting, isn't it? So what was it about Totti that was so captivating?
I think it's more than just his age-defying skill.
Right.
Think about the context.
Okay.
Totti wasn't just playing, he was conducting the game.
Yeah.
He was Roma. The Stadio Olimpico, buzzing the curve.
Sama da buradan bana gidiyor kutuyu siha.
And Totti delivered
Diğer kutuyu
efficient pinpoint passes. Those
Zaten
effortless
iki
goals
holu.
Yeah.
with poetry in motion.
Right. And Salah has actually talked about Totti's skill, right? He said that he saw passes that nobody else could.
Yeah.
And it just left him wondering, like, how does he do that?
Right.
It's almost as if some secret footballing code got passed down from Totti's brain to Salah's left. But some might argue that their playing styles are pretty different, right?
That's true. Their personalities on the pitch were distinct.
Yeah.
But if you look closer, there's some intriguing parallels.
Okay.
Totti the maestro, orchestrating the attack. He always seemed to know where everyone was going to be.
Yeah.
And Salah, that explosive speed cutting inside onto that lethal left foot. Did Totti's play that understanding of space and movement? Did that influence how ruthlessly efficient Salah became? That was something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't just about what happened on the pitch, right? I mean, their relationship went beyond tactics and training.
Right.
There are stories of them laughing together, joking around,
Yeah.
a real sense of camaraderie that really went beyond that. But when Totti bid farewell to Roma after 25 years,
Oh, yeah.
can you imagine the weight of that moment?
Yeah, it was more than just a player saying goodbye to his team. It was a city bidding farewell.
Da si che come la mira cara.
Embodied Roma and Salah.
زخا نايمة وشيكما
He had been affected.
دولة خيطة ودقة زي من فوقي.
Well, I keep coming back to Salah's words. No one will ever
بس
look
بريدة
one
بس
way.
دقة رمتلاس
And
كده.
it's not just admiration for Totti's skill, it's about something deeper. And on the pitch, they played 20 games together, racking up 18 wins. Pretty successful partnership.
Right.
There's that highlight where
كذا
Toti
مرة
makes
من
this
الناس
no
كان
look
من قد
pass
تسوي
to
فوقي
set up a
كان
stunning solid
من
goal. And
فوقي
later he
بيجا
jokes
لك
that Salah
بيجا
just
كان
looked
بس تروجر ده اسمان بيدا
Absolution.
بس تي كان
Dynamic. Totti the conductor with his vision and his creativity. And then Salah the lightning bolt just exploded.
وكان خطيج وسرع بيدا شوي.
But here's what I think is really fascinating. We see this evolution in Salah's
ما
game.
شاء الله كان
He takes that
بدي
precision
ملايرة أكيد لك دم بشي.
and he combines it with his unique speed and agility, becoming this goal-scoring machine that we know today.
Right, so we're seeing the legacy
راكي كمني
their paths are very different.
ويا أخواتي دي بس بس تزلك ساعات كينن بيسمنا
Salah has been more
بيسمنا
conquering differently. Do you think that impacts how their legacies are perceived?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Totti's loyalty to Roma is undeniably inspiring. But is there a risk that Salah, because he's played for several clubs, that he might not achieve that same level of unwavering adoration from any single fan base?
It really is. Very interesting question.
symbols of unwavering loyalty in a sport where players are constantly, switching teams.
Right, right.
That Salah's
Ujú.
journey is
Buena
compelling.
mirada.
His global ambition, testing himself against the best, becoming this worldwide icon. Could that actually become like a new model for aspiring?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's making me rethink how we even define legacy in football.
Right.
We tend to focus on the trophies and the stats, but maybe it's also about impact. And their playing styles almost reflect those contrasting paths, don't they? Tony the Maestro always like he's conducting an orchestra, and then you have Salah Lightning, fast, direct, cutting through defenses like a hot knife through butter.
It's tempting to say that Tony embodies that like classical beauty in the game,
Yeah,
elegance and artistry, while Salah's like the modern dynamic style,
right.
speed, power, and precision.
Yeah.
But that might be oversimplifying things a little bit. Remember that side-by-side comparison from the documentary
Yeah.
where they scored almost identical goals?
Yeah.
Tony with finesse
Yeah,
and Salah with sheer power.
absolutely. Yeah.
So maybe it's more nuanced than just like old school versus new school.
Yeah, I think so for sure. And even despite those differences, they both have this like dedication to their craft. A shared pursuit of mastery.
Absolutely.
But let's flip the script for a second. Some might argue that Salah, precisely because he has played with different clubs, he's had to adapt and evolve his game even more
Okay. Yeah.
than Toady, who was in a familiar system for so long. What do you think about that?
That's a really good point. Being exposed to different tactics, different managers, different teammates, right? They can really force a player to broaden their skill set
Right,
and become more versatile. You see that with Salah, right?
Yeah.
He's not just a speedster.
right.
He can create, he can score from different angles. He can play in different positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that adaptability,
Yeah.
becomes a key part of his legacy. Toady proving that unwavering loyalty can still exist.
Right.
And Salah showing that he can achieve global stardom while constantly pushing your limits.
Yeah.
It's like they're both rewriting the rules in their own way.
Exactly. Cody challenging this notion that you have to switch teams to reach your full potential. And Salah demonstrating that global ambition doesn't have to mean sacrificing humility or respect for your mentor.
Right.
But their impact goes beyond just their playing careers, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Think about the inspiration that they have.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just imagine, being a young footballer in Egypt, seeing Salah, someone who came from similar circumstances, reaching the pinnacle of the sport. And on the flip side, witnessing Cody's farewell to Roma after 25 years, that had to be incredibly moving for Salah. Seeing that level of devotion and love from a city.
It transcended sport, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was about identity, belonging to the soul of a city.
Wow.
Tony represented something really profound for those fans. And maybe Salah saw in that the potential to inspire a generation, not just in Egypt, but worldwide.
Right.
But here's the question. Does achieving that kind of legendary status,
Yeah.
does that require staying in one club? Or can you build a different kind of legacy, a more global one like Salah?
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
Cody's connection to Roma is undeniably special.
yeah.
But Salah's impact is spreading far and wide, inspiring people across different cultures and continents. It's a new kind of legend. Perhaps.
And maybe it's not an either or situation. Perhaps there's room for both types of legacies to thrive in football.
Yeah,
Unwavering loyalty of a Tony, the global ambition of a Salah. Each offers something so unique and inspiring.
yeah, it challenges our assumptions about how a football legacy should be built. And that's what I love about these two guys. You start to see things in new light, to appreciate the complexity and the nuance of these stories.
Absolutely. It's not just about stats and trophies.
Right.
It's about understanding the different paths to greatness, the human stories behind the legends, and the enduring power and inspiration that transcends generations and years.
It's amazing how this deep dive has uncovered all these really unexpected parallels. Like, who would have thought that a kid from Nagreg, Egypt would find his hero in a Roman gladiator? It just really shows you the global reach of football, how it connects people across cultures.
Yeah, it's really powerful how football creates these bridges you wouldn't expect.
Right.
I mean, think about the contrast between the Stadio Olimpico, fringed in history, and Anfield with that raw energy of the Kop.
Right.
Two totally different worlds, but united by their love for the game. And these
Right, and those fans play a huge role too. They fuel the legends, push them to new heights. It makes me think about that Salah quote again. Tony taught me I love football now. I play for him too. It's not just about skill, it's that deep connection that Tony had with the game with Roma that clearly resonated with Salah.
It speaks to that cyclical nature of inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, one generation passes the torch, carrying that legacy forward.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, will Salah's legacy be tied to Liverpool
Right?
in the same way that Tony's is to Roma?
Yeah.
Or will his impact be felt more broadly,
Right.
you know, inspiring a new generation of players across the globe?
Yeah. It's still unfolding, right? His story is not finished yet.
Yeah.
But one thing is for sure, his journey, his achievements, and his humility in recognizing those who came before him, that's going to leave a mark on the sport.
Absolutely. And that's what makes these deep dives so compelling. You know, we're not just looking at stats and trophies, we're exploring the human side of these
Yeah.
legends, the connections,
Right.
the moments that transcend the game itself.
Exactly. It's a reminder that football is more than just a sport. You know,
Yeah.
it reflects our shared humanity, our passions, loyalties, ambitions, and the enduring power of human nature. So the next time you see Mo Salah featuring defenders or scoring with those trademark goals, remember that his journey is intertwined with that of a Roman legend. It's a testament to the impact of those who came before, and how that inspiration shapes the beautiful game that, my friends, is the magic of football.
It is.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving.
All right, so to dive in deep today into football, really getting into it, you know, like what makes it tick.
Yeah, always fun to get a bit philosophical about it.
Totally. So we've got these two articles, both about, well, they're focused on Thierry Henry's
Henry, always insightful. What's he got his eye on this time?
this contrast between players who are all about instinct and, well, the modern game.
Yeah.
Which is way more structured, you know, all data driven and stuff.
Yeah, that shift is definitely something. Like, how do you even balance those two things?
Exactly. So that's what we're digging into in this kid.
Oh, yeah. Yamal at Euro 2024, that's been something else.
18 years old, youngest ever at the tournament, racking up those goal contributions. Crazy, right?
It's not just the stats, though, is it? Like, Henry sees something deeper in it.
Right, right. It's the specific moment in the semifinal against France. Spain's winning 2-1 pressure.
And Yamal gets the ball. Now, most young players in that spot, they go for the spectacular play, try to take on the defender.
Show off a bit, yeah, go for the board.
Exactly. But Yamal, he makes a tactical pass. He keeps possession instead of going for the individual player.
Which, I mean, this is Thierry Henry we're talking about. The guy was all about those dazzling moves. So for him to be impressed by a simple pass,
Says a lot, doesn't it? Henry was blown away by how mature Yamal's decision making was. Like, he saw players get it, you know?
that's got to be rare, that kind of awareness. So, you know, it makes you wonder, is Yamal just like one of a kind? Or can you actually teach that instinct?
Tough question. Probably a mix of both, right? You need that raw talent, but you also got to nurture it, give it space to develop.
It makes you think about how we develop young players now. All the focus on data and rigid training. Are we like killing off some of that instinct?
Could be. Henry's been pretty vocal about wanting to see more of those instinct-driven players who want to take risks, shoot from miles out, try the unexpected.
The ones that keep you on the edge of your seat, like what are they going to do next?
Exactly.
Which brings us to how Henry sees the game itself changing. He said, the rules of the game have changed the game. Which, well, duh, right? But he means something more by that.
Oh, absolutely. He's talking about stricter penalties for fouls, less tolerance for all that diving, you know, that whole shift towards tactical discipline. It's like, has football become too sanitary?
Yeah, maybe. Like less room for personality, for those moments of unexpected brilliance.
Yeah.
And is that focus on structure, on control, is it actually hurting the game?
It's something to think about, that's for sure. But before we get too deep into that, I think we should explore Henry's perspective a bit more. What's he actually missing?
Okay, good point. And I think a good place to start is that no plays, no game campaign. It sounds random, but I think it tells us something important about Henry's relationship with football.
You're right, it's not all about tactics and winning. It's also about the shared experience, the rituals, the things that connect us to the game on a deeper level.
And that campaign, with Henry and Wetsuit Metellus looking for a bar to watch the Champions League, and
professional and perfect strategy.
So we have Yamal, this young talent, all about instinct. And then Henry, looking back at a time when the game was less rigid and more free flowing, where do those two connect? Like, what place does instinct have in the modern game?
That's the question, isn't it? Henry definitely thinks it's crucial, that it adds an element of surprise, of creativity that you can't get from algorithms or whatever.
He even said he misses those players who just like shoot from 40 yards out or try to dribble past everyone. That fearlessness is kind of gone.
Yeah. But then there's the other side. Modern football is all about minimizing errors, playing it safe, sticking to the plan. We hear it all the time. Don't lose it.
Which, yeah, makes sense, but it can get a bit predictable when you're watching a movie you've seen 100 times.
Right.
And this is where Henry's own experience comes in. He was all about instinct, never backed down from a challenge. He was that fearlessness that seems to be missing now. So, what do you think? Do you have both? Structure and instinct in this data-driven world? Or is that unpredictable magic just going to fade away?
It's a tough one. And it kind of leads us to the next part of our deep dive, the story of Yaya Sanogo.
Ah, yes. The new Thierry Henry. We all know how that turned out. That's a story for part 2, so stick around.
So Yaya Sanogo, remember him, signed with Arsenal, and everyone's like, this is the next Henry. He even got nominated for that Golden Boy Award. Crazy.
Oh yeah, huge expectations. Baker was raving about him, saying he had a big future, which, coming from Baker, that's like a ticket. You know,
It was. But things didn't really go as planned.
it was a bit of a, well, yeah,
Yeah.
he has moments, got some playing time in big games.
The goals just weren't there. Maybe the pressure got to him.
He did score in that Champions League match against Dortmund.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's a pretty decent only goal to have.
True. Still, it wasn't enough to, like, solidify his place at Arsenal.
After that, after Palace, Ajax, he clearly had talent, but something was missing.
Right. Was it tactical awareness? Mental toughness? Hard to say.
And then gone for like 18 months.
Yeah.
A guy who was supposed to be the next big thing just disappears. It's wild where these careers go, you know?
You never know what'll happen. And then, bam, he signs with Burnt in Armenia.
I don't know.
Total curse.
What do you think? Was that him trying to like rediscover his love for the game away from all the pressure?
Get back to basics.
Seems like it worked though. Scored 2 goals in his debut, even won the league title.
He did. Though he didn't actually play enough to get a medal. Which is kind of cool.
I know, kind of.
But then, off he goes again. This time, China. Second division.
Kingdale Red Lions, right?
Yep. What's interesting about Sanogo is he makes you rethink what a successful football career is.
It's not always the trophies, the fame.
Maybe for some guys it's about finding that fulfillment, you know, even if it's in unexpected places. Exactly. It makes you think about talent too. Like, is there only one right way to make it?
Or can you have multiple paths, all leading to something
Totally. And it ties back into our whole instinct versus structure thing. Maybe Sanogo, in a way, he represents that structure.
have the talent, but not the, I don't know, the discipline.
Maybe. Or maybe the pressure of the next Henry has gotten him.
It's tough to live up to those kinds of labels.
It is. Maybe stepping away from that whole, like, top tier pressure cooker, let him find his own way. Play on his own terms.
Maybe that is success. In a way, finding that joy. You know? Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got Lamine Yamal, this young kid with pure instinct. We've got Henry, wishing for a more spontaneous era. And now Sanogo, carving his own path.
It all circles back to that question. How do you reconcile those two things? Instinct and structure. What do we as fans want to see?
Do we want to see perfection? Everything planned out? Or do we want those moments of, like, pure magic where a player just goes home and it's like, do you want a symphony or, like, a jazz symphony?
That's a good way to put it. Maybe it's a bit of both, right?
Yeah.
I love seeing a team that's totally in sync, but then, bam, someone does something completely unexpected, and it's like, whoa.
It's that element of surprise, you know? Makes it exciting. Like, you just never know what's going to happen next.
And it reminds you that it's not just robots out there. It's like, with creativity, with those gut feelings.
Like Yamal with that pass. Everyone thought he'd go for the highlight reel, but he made the smart play. Talent and brains, right?
Exactly. So maybe that's the future, finding players who can do both. Play within the system, but also know when to break free. Like, having that awareness, knowing when to stick to the plan and when to just trust your gut.
Right. Structure and instinct working together.
Control chaos.
Yeah, I like that. You need the structure, the foundation to build on, but then you need those players who can see those little openings, those opportunities that no one else sees.
Who aren't afraid to take a chance.
It's finding that balance, and that's what makes football so great, right? You never really know what's gonna happen.
It's kind of like life in a way, isn't it? You make plans, but then things happen. You got to adapt. And sometimes those unexpected turns, those are the things that, I don't know, make it all work.
I think you're right. So if we're gonna sum up this whole instinct versus structure thing, I think the takeaway is you need both. They both have a place in the game.
We need those tactical masterminds, the ones who see the whole chessboard.
Absolutely. But we also need those players who just like light things up. The ones who remind us why we love this game so much.
So, to everyone listening, next time you're watching a match, keep an eye out for those moments. The ones that make you jump out of your seat.
Even with all the data and analysis, there's still room for magic. Those flashes of brilliance, that's what keeps the game alive.
Well said. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into football. Until next time, keep exploring, keep thinking, keep that passion of the beautiful game burning bright. All right, Sarah, you ready for this? Lionel Messi.
Back in a Barcelona jersey.
Yeah, it sounds impossible, right?
It seems like it.
But the rumors are out there,
Yeah.
and we're going to dive deep into all these news articles and biographical excerpts
Okay.
to try to figure out, is this just a crazy dream, or could this actually happen? I mean, you know how much you love football.
It's an amazing story.
Buckle up, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is a fascinating case. It really is. It's almost like we have this mystery that we need to unravel.
Okay.
There's the emotional pull of him like coming back home, but then there's this massive puzzle. Like, how can Barcelona even afford this? And then, of course, the big question: can he still deliver at 37? I mean,
Okay, so for anyone who might not be, like, totally up to speed on their Messi history,
yeah,
let's start with the basics. So, the biographical stuff kind of paints this picture of his journey.
it's incredible when you think about it. This kid from Argentina,
Right.
facing health issues as a child, joins Barcelona's legendary youth academy, La Masia, at just 13.
13.
That's like stepping into a footballing pressure cooker, and he thrives.
He doesn't just thrive, he explodes.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know the trophies for Ballon d'Or. It was an insane year in 2009 when they won everything.
Right.
But what makes him so special? Why do people consider him the GOAT, greatest of all time?
It goes beyond just the stats. I mean, Messi's playing style, it's almost otherworldly.
Really?
This incredible mix of speed, agility, vision. I mean, he sees passes nobody else can. He dribbles through defenses like they're not even there.
It's like magic.
It's mesmerizing to watch.
And for Barcelona fans, he became more than just a player, right?
Yeah.
He was like the symbol of their club,
Yeah.
the embodiment of their style, their philosophy. And from the biographical stuff, you can tell he felt that connection too.
Oh, absolutely.
Barcelona was home,
Yeah, which makes what happened in 2021 even more shocking.
right?
So Barcelona, facing this massive financial crisis, was forced to let him go.
Can you imagine the club that you've given everything to,
Yeah.
where you become a legend,
Right.
they can't afford you.
And the news articles about his departure, they're just heartbreaking.
They are. It's just like,
The tears, the farewell speeches.
it was like a city morning
Yeah,
hero.
it really was. And then he goes to PSG,
Yeah,
a powerhouse team, right?
yeah,
But something is missing.
yeah, exactly. I mean, on paper, it's a perfect fit. Champions League opportunities, a star-studded squad, but
Right.
the magic isn't quite there. His performance is good, but it's not messy, you know?
It's like he needs that emotional connection to really ignite.
Church that way.
And then, in a move that surprised like everyone, he signs with Inter Miami last year.
Yeah.
Suddenly, like the MLS is the center of the football universe.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
While Messi's over in Miami, making waves, Barcelona is building their new stadium, the new Camp Nou. This like state-of-the-art marvel,
Right.
designed to usher in a new era for the club. And then there's this quote from Messi that gets every Barcelona fan like buzzing. He says, and I'm quoting here, "I can't leave football without playing at the new Camp Nou."
Almost like he's leaving the door open, right? But how is this even possible?
Yeah.
I mean, Barcelona's drowning in debt. They're struggling to comply with La Liga's financial rules.
And for those who don't know, these financial fair play regulations,
Yes.
they're designed to prevent clubs from spending recklessly.
Right, and they have a very tight grip on Barcelona
Yeah.
under per purse strings.
So if they can't even register new players
Right.
without jumping through all these hoops,
Yeah.
how could they possibly afford someone like Messi? We're talking global icon, a market value of 20 million.
It's a lot of money.
It's like trying to buy a Ferrari on a bicycle budget.
It does seem like a long shot.
Yeah,
Some sources are saying this whole thing might just be like a build up to a friendly match.
you know, a symbolic return for Messi to kind of grace the new Camp Nou.
But that wouldn't explain, like, his comment about not leaving football without playing there,
Right?
a friendly is nice and all, but it's not the same as being back on the team, right?
No,
Competing for titles.
no, not at all.
Plus, his contract with Inter Miami runs till the end of this year.
Yeah.
Could Barcelona even afford to wait until 2026 when he's a free agent? I mean, they might miss their chance completely.
There's definitely a sense of urgency.
Right.
If Barcelona wants to make this happen, they need to figure it out and fast.
But even if they can pull off some, like, financial miracle, there's another major factor we got to consider in it.
Oh yeah,
Age.
Messi's age.
He's 37, which, I mean, in football years, you're starting to push a little bit,
Yeah.
especially at that high level. So the question is, can he still deliver the magic that made him a legend in a demanding league like La Liga? I mean, are we setting ourselves up for disappointment, or is this a fairy tale comeback waiting to happen?
Yeah, it's a good question. To answer that, we need to dig a little bit deeper into what Messi's been doing in Miami.
Right.
I mean, is his MLS performance a true reflection of his current abilities, or is there more to the story? This is where the mystery really deepens, and we're going to have to examine the clues carefully.
All right, well, let's do it. Okay, so we've established that Barcelona's finances are about as stable as like a Jenga tower after a few rounds.
Yeah,
But some people are saying that Messi's MLS stint might actually be a good thing for Barcelona.
it's a curious argument, isn't it?
It is.
It's kind of counterintuitive, but if you look at it from Barcelona's perspective, there might be a silver lining here.
So I was reading about how Messi's arrival in Miami was like this shot of adrenaline to the league.
Oh yeah,
Attendance is up.
great.
Jersey sales are through the roof.
Absolutely.
Even people who like never watched soccer before are tuning in.
I know, it's amazing.
You see him play.
It's incredible the global attention he brings
Yeah.
and the marketing power. That's unprecedented.
So some analysts are saying this could actually work in Barcelona's favor.
Yeah,
How so? I mean, wouldn't a successful stint in Miami just increase his market value even more,
well, yeah, true.
but make him even more expensive?
There's a bigger picture here.
Okay.
Barcelona isn't just a football club.
Right.
It's a global brand.
Yeah.
And Messi's association with them, even while he's in Miami, has kept that brand visible, relevant, desirable.
So are you saying that like his presence in the MLS is indirectly boosting Barcelona's brand value,
Yeah,
which could lead to like,
attracting sponsors, investors.
all the things they need to help climb out of this financial hole?
Precisely. It's like a long-term strategy.
It's a gamble,
It is a gamble.
but one that could pay off.
It could pay off big.
Okay, I'm starting to see the logic here.
Yeah.
It's like they're betting on Messi's global star power
Yeah,
to kind of indirectly boost their own financial prospects, kind of like a rising tide lifts all boats.
exactly. And while he's doing that, they have time to restructure, negotiate better deals,
Right.
and maybe, just maybe, create a situation where they can afford to bring him back.
Without going totally bankrupt.
Exactly, without breaking the bank.
But even if they manage to like pull off this financial Houdini act,
Right.
we still have the age factor to consider. Right.
Yeah.
He's 37. He's been playing against like a totally different level of competition in the MLS.
Yeah.
Some critics are saying that his performance there isn't really indicative of how he'd fare in a more intense league like La Liga.
Right. I mean, the MLS, while improving, it's not quite at the same level as the top European leagues.
Right.
The pace is different, the tactical approaches are different, and the physicality is
Right.
definitely a step up in La Liga.
So how do we like reconcile his MLS performance with whether he can still cut it at the highest level?
Yeah.
The sources kind of paint a mixed picture.
Yeah, they do. On the one hand, you have pundits who point to his age and they say he's lost a step. They argue he wouldn't be able to handle that week in, week out grind of a season in La Liga.
Especially against like
Younger, faster opponents.
these like young guys who are hungry.
Exactly.
But then you have others who are saying, come on, this is Messi we're talking about.
Yeah.
And they point to like his incredible goal scoring record in Miami, his ability to create chances out of nothing,
Right. It's almost like a battle between the eye test and the stats. The eye test might say he's not as quick as he used to be, but the stats still show a player who can produce those moments of brilliance.
And let's not forget the mental side of it all too, right? I mean, Messi thrives on challenges.
Absolutely.
I mean, moving to a new league, adapting to a new environment, proving the doubters wrong.
Yeah.
Those are the things that really
Absolutely. Anyone can defy the odds and something like this.
This is the guy who's broken records, defied expectations, and made the impossible.
Throughout his entire career.
So we shouldn't write him off just yet.
I don't think so.
Even if he's not the same Messi who dominated La Liga 10 years ago,
Right.
he might still have enough left to,
Make a significant impact.
to really leave his mark.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one that only time will tell. But what I find particularly interesting is
What's that?
the sources are suggesting that Messi's potential return to Barcelona wouldn't just be about, nostalgia or sentimentality.
What do you mean?
Well, think about the current Barcelona squad.
Okay,
They have some incredibly talented young players like Pedri and Gavi,
right.
but they lack that veteran leadership, that game-changing experience that someone like Messi brings.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be about adding another goal scorer.
Yeah, right.
It'd be about adding that winning mentality.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
tactical intelligence and like that aura of invincibility that he just has.
Precisely. I mean, imagine the impact he could have on these young players, not just on the pitch, but in training, in the locker room, in those moments when the pressure is on.
He could be like the missing piece of the puzzle. The
Exactly.
catalyst that helps them reach their full potential.
It's a fascinating angle.
Yeah, we're not just talking about a sentimental return.
No.
We're talking about a strategic move that can have a ripple effect on the entire team's development and performance.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the tactical dimension.
Oh, right.
How would Messi fit into Barcelona's current system? Would the manager build the team around him, or would he need to adapt his game to fit their style?
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, let's dive into that.
Okay.
Tactically speaking, what kind of impact could Messi have on this Barcelona squad, and how would his presence change the dynamics of the team, both on and off the pitch?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting because we're talking about blending the past and the present. You have this, iconic figure who represents the golden age of Barcelona, and then you have this new generation of players who are trying to forge their own path.
It's like trying to combine a vintage masterpiece with a modern art installation.
Exactly.
You got to find a way to make them complement each other
Yeah, without clashing.
without clashing, and that's the challenge for the manager job.
Yeah, big
He
chunk.
needs to figure out how to get the most out of Messi,
Yeah,
while also making sure these young players don't feel overshadowed.
right, or stifled.
So what are like some of the tactical options here? I mean, would Messi just slot right back into his role as a right winger, cutting inside and just wreaking havoc, or would he play more centrally, like dictating the tempo?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but based on his recent performances in Miami, it seems like he's transitioning into more of a playmaking role.
Okay,
He's dropping deeper, picking up the ball in midfield, spraying these passes with pinpoint accuracy.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
He might not have that explosive speed that he had before, but his vision, his passing, his tactical awareness are still world-class.
oh, absolutely. And just imagine the possibilities. Messi dictating the play from deep, feeding these balls to Pedri, Gavi, Lewandowski.
It'd be a tactical masterclass.
It would,
Blending like
Yeah.
youthful exuberance
yes,
with veteran savvy.
exactly.
But it's not just about offense, though, right? How would Messi being there affect their defensive structure?
Yeah.
I mean, would he be expected to track back, contribute defensively, or would he have more of a free role?
Well, that's a key question,
Yeah.
and it probably depends on the overall tactical approach.
Yeah.
If they want to press high and win the ball back quickly, Messi might need to adapt his game a little bit and be more involved defensively.
But if they're playing more possession-based, sitting deeper, waiting for those counterattacking opportunities,
Right.
then maybe he could have more freedom.
Yeah, more freedom to roam and focus on creating chances.
Exactly. It's all about like finding that sweet spot
Yeah, find that balance.
where they can get the most out of his creativity and attacking powers without, weakening their defense.
Exactly. That's the challenge.
And then there's that, mental side of it
The
again.
psychological impact.
Having Messi back, I mean, he's not just a player, he's a leader, a symbol.
The legend.
His presence alone could elevate the whole team.
Absolutely. Imagine the boost to be able to give these younger players to learn from and play alongside their childhood idol.
Yeah.
It would be an incredible experience.
But let's be real, there's some potential downsides too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Messi's arrival could create tension,
Oh, for sure.
especially if some players feel like threatened,
Threatened or overshadowed.
yeah, by his presence.
Yeah. Managing egos, balancing playing time, maintaining that team harmony would be huge
Yeah.
for the manager.
So it's not just about fitting him into the system;
No.
it's about fitting him into the team.
Yeah, into the fabric of the team.
It's almost like trying to introduce a lion.
Into a pride of young cubs.
Oh,
Yeah, to be careful.
very carefully
Strategically.
and sensitive.
And don't forget about the media circus.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
right.
pressure, the scrutiny, the constant attention.
It would be overwhelming.
It would be like inviting a hurricane of hype and expectation right into that locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
Managing all that external noise would be just as important as managing like the internal team dynamics.
It's a high stakes gamble,
It really is.
but the potential rewards are immense.
Yeah.
I mean, if Barcelona can pull this off,
Yeah,
they could be on the verge of a new era
yeah,
of dominance, one that blends their past
right.
with the promise of their future.
So we've explored the financial hurdles, the age factor, the tactical considerations, the psychological impact. It's a lot.
It's a complex web
Yeah,
of interconnected factors.
yeah, and it's all kind of centered around Messi.
Yeah,
You know, this enigmatic figure who holds the key to this whole saga.
absolutely.
But there's one piece of the puzzle we haven't really talked about.
What about Messi's perspective? I mean, what does he want at this stage of his career? Is it a fairy tale return to his beloved Barcelona, like a final chance to add to his legacy? Or is there something else driving him, something deeper? You know, it's easy to get lost in all the what ifs, the money, the tactics.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, this is Lionel Messi,
right.
a guy who's accomplished everything in football.
Really is.
So what's left to motivate him?
Well, that's where the biographical stuff is so interesting.
Yeah.
It gives us this glimpse into Messi, the man.
Beyond the trophies and the goals and the fame.
Exactly.
And what emerges is this picture of someone who is rooted in family, loyalty, belonging.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the book talks about how his family, they've always been his anchor.
Yeah, that close-knit unit.
They moved with him to Barcelona when he was just a kid.
Right.
They were there for all of it. You know,
The ups and downs.
the good times, the bad times. You can tell they're a huge part of his decision-making process.
Yeah, and leaving Barcelona wasn't just about switching teams. It was like uprooting his entire life, his family's life.
Maybe that's the key to understanding all of this.
It could be.
This potential return. It's not just about the game, the stadium, the money.
Right.
It's about coming home,
Yeah.
reconnecting with a part of himself that he had to leave behind.
It's a powerful narrative.
It is.
The prodigal son returns not just to play, but to heal, to feel whole again.
And you can see how much that resonates with the fans too.
Absolutely.
They never really got over him leaving.
It's like a wound that never fully closed.
Yeah, it's like this collective dream come true, the idea of him coming back.
Right. But dreams can be fragile.
They can.
And this one hinges on so many things.
Yeah,
Not just the money and the logistics, but Messi's own ambition too.
right. He's a competitor. He wants to win. He wants to play at the highest level, challenge himself.
Exactly.
And even though he's been doing well in Miami,
Yeah.
I mean, the MLS, it's not the Champions League.
It's not.
So going back to Barcelona
Yeah.
with those expectations, the pressure of looming in.
Yeah. Would that reignite that fire?
I mean, is that what he's looking for?
Yeah. Is he looking for like a comfortable end to his career? You know, a victory lap in a familiar place? Or is there still that desire to prove himself all over again?
Yeah, to show the world that at 37, Lionel Messi can still dominate the game.
That's the question.
And what about his legacy? I mean, we talked about how this return could really cement his status as a Barcelona icon.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't work out?
Yeah. What if he struggles?
What if he can't keep up?
What if he can't live up to those expectations?
It's a big risk, right? I mean, it could tarnish his image,
Potentially.
but maybe he's unafraid of it. Maybe he's willing to put it all on the line for that last shot at glory.
Even if it means facing the possibility of failure.
That's what makes this whole thing so compelling.
It really does.
It's not just a transfer, it's not just a business deal.
It's so much more.
We're talking about ambition, emotions, legacy.
This story goes way beyond the sport itself.
And it reminds us that even in this world of, you know,
Data,
algorithms,
spreadsheets, there's still room for the unpredictable
yeah, unexplainable.
human element.
So we wrap up this deep dive
Yeah.
with more questions than answers. It's right. When we return. for Barcelona mean for the future of football?
I don't know. We don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
But we have the insights from these amazing sources.
And that's what makes this so great.
It really does.
And that's what we want you to do.
Okay.
Check out the sources we've been talking about
Yeah, form your own opinions.
and let us know what you think.
Share your thoughts.
What does this potential return mean for Messi's legacy? Is this the fairy tale ending? Is it a huge risk? Or is it something else entirely? This story is far from over, and we're all excited to see how it plays out. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.
And until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep the conversation going.
All right, let's get ready for another deep dive. We're heading courtside for the NBA's final stretch. It's crunch time, folks. Playoff races, they're heating up. Injuries, shaking things up as always. Oh, and did I mention the ownership drama brewing? Yeah, it's getting juicy.
Sounds like we've got a lot to unpack.
We do. We're digging into an ESPN article called NBA Midseason Report,
Nice.
packed with insights from executives and scouts around the league.
Always love hearing what those guys are thinking.
Me too. And let me tell you, some of these opinions, they're going to raise some eyebrows.
Can't wait to hear them.
We got to start with the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the maverick in LA.
Ah, yes, the Luka Doncic trade.
The Luka LeBron pairing. I mean, Doncic was a force in Dallas, no doubt.
Absolutely.
But now, the big question is, how's he going to fit in with LeBron? That's what has everybody buzzing.
It's been a bumpy road so far, for sure. You got to remember, Doncic is coming off that calf injury, and as one executive pointed out, there's always an adjustment period when you start playing alongside LeBron.
Makes sense.
He commands so much attention on the court. You know,
Oh, yeah.
forces everyone else to adapt their game.
And from what I'm seeing, the Lakers roster, well, it might not be built for that kind of adaptation.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I mean, the lack of outside shooting is a huge issue, right?
Absolutely huge.
And then you've got Jackson Hayes as your only real lob threat. Come on, I'm not an NBA executive or anything, but even I can see that's a problem.
It definitely limits their options on offense.
Yeah.
You need that spacing in today's NBA.
Yeah.
You got to have those consistent shooters to keep the defense honest.
Totally.
Otherwise, it's way too easy to just double team LeBron and Doncic.
Exactly. Think about those teams like the Warriors, the Celtics. They've been so successful because they have multiple threats from beyond the arc.
For sure. All about spread the floor.
But the Lakers, they just don't have that right now. So is this Doncic trade a bust already? Or are they just, working through some growing pains? What do you think?
I think it's too early to write it off as a bust completely. But there's definitely some reason to be worried. There's this one West executive who quoted in the article thinks the Lakers roster flaws are just too big to overcome this season, even with Doncic's talent. But then again, can you ever really count out a team with LeBron James?
Never.
He's made a career out of defying expectations, so who knows, right?
It's going to be interesting to see how they adjust in these last few weeks.
Absolutely.
Speaking of defying expectations, the Cleveland Cavaliers,
Oh yeah, they've been impressive.
they're quietly sitting at the top of the East.
Quietly dominating.
Right. And this article actually suggests they might be a real threat to the Celtics. I mean, wow, is this finally the Cavs here?
There's a lot of excitement around them, and it's definitely warranted.
Sure.
Talented young core, remarkably consistent, and that trade for DeAndre Hunter. Genius.
Smart move.
Gives them another weapon on defense, someone to throw at Tatum and Brown. Which, let's face it, that's crucial if they want to take down the Celtics in the playoffs.
Absolutely crucial. One scout even said Hunter could be the key to unlocking their championship potential.
Interesting.
But hold on, because another scout in this article, they're not so convinced. They're saying the Cavs just don't have the experience to go up against a team like the Celtics. That's the classic battle, youth versus experience.
It's a great debate. Tough one to call.
Right. So where do you fall on this?
You know, I think I'm leaning toward experience in this case. The Celtics have been there, done that. They know how to win a championship.
Yeah,
And they have Brad Stevens, a coach who's proven he can adapt when it matters most.
for sure.
But don't get me wrong, the Cavs, they're hungry. They're playing with a ton of confidence. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they push Boston to the limit.
It's going to be a battle. All right, everybody, buckle up because the East is shaping up to be an absolute war zone. Now, let's shift gears and head over to the West where things have gotten even crazier. Victor Wembanyama's injury. Season ending.
Oh, man, that's a heartbreaker. Tough blow for the kid, obviously. But it also throws a wrench into the playoff picture.
Yeah.
The West was already already a tight race, and now it's even more chaotic.
11 teams battling for 10 spots.
Exactly.
And those last few spots are up for grabs, with the Mavericks, Warriors, Kings, and Suns all fighting to get in.
It's a dogfight.
It is, and get this, one executive predicts the Suns, with all their star power, they're going to miss the playoffs entirely. They even went as far as to say the players seem to dislike each other. I know, right? If that's true, that's a massive red flag, because talent alone can only take you so far, you know?
Absolutely. You need that chemistry,
Yeah.
that camaraderie, especially in the playoffs. Think about those Spurs teams back in their dynasty days.
Right,
They weren't always the most talented team on paper,
right.
but they were so cohesive,
Yeah.
and that made all the difference.
The Spurs are a perfect example. Okay, so while I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Suns potentially missing the playoffs, it's clear that locker room issues, they can make or break it.
No doubt about it.
And speaking of teams with high expectations that are falling short, the Suns and the 76ers.
Yeah, two teams that came into the season with championship aspirations, but it just hasn't clicked for either of them.
It hasn't. The article is pretty blunt about it. They say there's little faith in either team making a deep playoff run this year.
Ouch.
I know. And honestly, I get it. The Suns, even with Kevin Durant, they just haven't gelled the way everyone thought they would.
Right.
And one executive even said they're much worse than anyone could have possibly imagined.
Damn. Harsh, but maybe true.
As for the Sixers, they're still relying so heavily on Embiid. When he's not at his best, their offense struggles.
The lack of depth is definitely a concern for both teams. They're top heavy, relying on a couple of stars to carry the load, and that's just not sustainable in the playoffs. You need contributions from the entire roster, especially in those long, grueling 7-game series.
Totally agree. But there is a little bit of hope for the Sixers, at least in the long run. The article mentions they have some promising young players and could potentially go with that two timelines approach.
The two timelines approach.
Yeah.
Classic strategy. Essentially, you're trying to balance winning now with building for the future.
Right.
You have your veterans who are competing for a championship in the present.
Yep.
But at the same time, you're developing your younger players who will be ready to take over in a few years.
It's a tough balance to strike.
It is, but it can work if you do it right. Think about the Warriors. They drafted Draymond Green and Klay Thompson while Steph Curry was still developing, and that laid the foundation for their dynasty.
That's a great point. So while this season might be a wash for the Sixers, they do have the pieces in place to be contenders for years to come.
Potentially.
Unfortunately, the same can't really be said for the Suns. They seem stuck in win now mode without the depth or apparently the chemistry to make it happen. It'll be interesting to see how both teams navigate these next few months.
Absolutely. Now, while the Thunder and Nuggets are considered the front runners in the West, there are a couple of young, up-and-coming teams that could potentially shake things up.
Oh, you mean like the Grizzlies and the Rockets?
Exactly.
I love watching those teams play. The Grizzlies have John Morant, who's just electrifying, and their offense is unlike anything we've ever seen before.
It's truly unique. The article even pointed out that they don't really rely on traditional pick and rolls with Morant, which is pretty rare in today's NBA.
It is. It's a testament to their coaching staff and the talent of their players. They've figured out a way to be successful by playing to their strengths, and they're not afraid to challenge conventional wisdom.
Exactly.
But the article also questions whether that style can translate to playoff success.
That's the big question. The playoffs are a different animal.
For sure.
Teams have more time to scout, to prepare for their opponents. It'll be interesting to see if Memphis can adapt.
Yeah.
Can they maintain that offensive efficiency when the stakes are higher?
Good point. So maybe they're not quite ready for a deep playoff run just yet, but they're definitely a team to watch. What about the Rockets? They're young, they're still figuring things out, but they've had some really impressive moments this season.
The Rockets are intriguing because they have so much raw talent, but they're lacking that playoff experience that's so crucial in this league. One scout in the article even said that he wants to see how they perform in a playoff environment before he considers them true contenders.
Makes sense. The playoffs, they test you in ways the regular season just can't.
Exactly. They expose weaknesses, they test your mental toughness, they demand a different level of execution.
So both the Grizzlies and the Rockets are teams to watch, but maybe not quite ready for prime time just yet. It makes you wonder, with so many contenders battling injuries this year, are there any other teams lurking in the shadows waiting to pounce on this opportunity? Could a dark horse emerge from the East?
That's a great question, and actually the article does highlight a couple of teams that could potentially challenge the Celtics and Cavaliers. The Bucks and the Knicks.
The Knicks? Really?
Yeah, they've been surprisingly good.
I'll admit, I haven't been paying much attention to them this year. What's working for them?
They've built a really solid system around Jalen Brunson.
Oh, yeah, he's been great for them.
He has. They're playing balanced offense, tough defense, and they've got Thibodeau, a coach who demands accountability and effort.
Yeah, he's known for that.
One executive in the article even praised their cohesion, which he contrasted with the Bucks, who are very reliant on Giannis.
Interesting. So you're saying the Knicks are a more complete team than the Bucks?
I wouldn't say better necessarily. It's more about recognizing the different approaches to team building and how they translate to playoff success.
I see what you mean.
The Bucks have that ultimate trump card in Giannis.
He's a force of nature.
He is. But their reliance on him can also be a weakness. If he has an off night, if a team figures out how to neutralize him, they don't have as many reliable options to turn to.
Good point.
The Knicks, on the other hand, they have a more balanced attack, a system that doesn't hinge on one superstar.
So it's like the classic debate, individual brilliance versus team synergy.
Exactly. And both approaches have their merits. It'll be fascinating to see how they play out in the playoffs.
No doubt about it. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. Injuries. This has been a brutal season on that front.
It really has.
And the ripple effects are felt across the entire league.
That's the thing about injuries, they impact everything. We talked about Wembanyama's injury. Obviously, it affects his own development, but it also potentially changes the Rookie of the Year race. Could even impact contract negotiations for other players down the line.
It's like a domino effect, isn't it? One injury can set off this chain reaction that affects everything: award races, playoff seeding, team finances, you name it.
Yep.
And speaking of finances, this article dives into the potential implications of all NBA selections for some of these young players. Guys like Evan Mobley, Kate Cunningham, Scotty Barnes, Trae Young. They could be looking at some massive contract extensions if they make an all NBA team this year.
Yeah, the All-NBA teams, they're not just about bragging rights. Those selections can trigger clauses in their contracts that lead to some serious raises.
So it's not just about individual accolades, it's about securing the bag.
Exactly.
I can only imagine the pressure these young guys are feeling, trying to lead their teams to success, while also knowing that their individual performance could have a huge impact on their future earnings.
It's a lot to handle, especially for players who are still so early in their careers. But it also highlights the business side of the NBA. Individual performance and financial rewards are often intertwined.
That's a great point. It reminds us that these players are not just athletes, they're businessmen,
For sure.
negotiating contracts, building their brands. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Superstar trades, playoff contenders, the financial side of the league. But I want to go back to something that really intrigued me in this article. The Oklahoma City Thunder's Twin Towers experiment.
Oh, yeah. The Thunder have been one of the most surprising teams this season. Quietly putting together a really solid year.
They have.
And their willingness to experiment with different lineups has been a big part of their success.
Right. They're defying conventional wisdom by playing Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein together. A lot of people thought that wouldn't work in today's NBA.
It's a throwback to a different era when dominant big men ruled the paint.
Totally. But in today's game, with all the emphasis on spacing and three-point shooting, can a two-big lineup actually thrive?
The article suggests it all comes down to how well Chet Holmgren can shoot the ball. If he can stretch the floor with his outside shooting, it opens up a lot of possibilities for their offense.
Makes sense.
He becomes a real matchup nightmare for opposing teams.
I can see that.
Too big for smaller defenders to guard on the perimeter, and too skilled for traditional centers to handle the post.
It's a fascinating experiment, and it really speaks to the Thunder's commitment to player development.
Absolutely.
They're not afraid to try unconventional things and see what sticks. Speaking of teams exceeding expectations, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets. A model of consistency, led by that dynamic duo, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Their offense is a thing of beauty. Fluid ball movement, precise passing, scoring from everywhere on the court. It's a real testament to the power of chemistry and a well-defined system.
They're the antithesis of that isolation-heavy hero ball style that we see so much of in the NBA today.
Right? And yet they're incredibly effective.
Proving that you don't need a roster full of superstars to be successful.
You just need to have players who understand their roles and play together as a unit.
Exactly.
The Nuggets, they haven't made any major splashes in free agency or trades.
Yep.
But development, and a coaching staff that knows how to maximize their talent.
It's a blueprint for sustainable success in a league that often prioritizes short-term gains.
It really is. But even with their well-oiled machine humming along, the Nuggets still have some decisions to make, particularly when it comes to their starting lineup.
Ah, yes, the big debate. Who starts alongside Murray and Jokic?
The article highlights the options. Christian Braun, the young up-and-comer, versus Russell Westbrook, the veteran.
It's a tough choice. And it's not just about basketball.
Right.
Westbrook is a future Hall of Famer, but he's also known for being, well, let's say, strong-willed.
He likes to have the ball in his hands.
Exactly. And integrating him into a system that already has two ball-dominant stars, that's a real challenge.
Could disrupt the chemistry that's been so crucial to their success.
Exactly.
There's this one executive quoted in the article thinks the Nuggets should start Westbrook even if it's not the best basketball decision,
Interesting.
just to avoid alienating him.
Wow, that's a bold strategy.
It is, and it kind of suggests that sometimes managing personalities and egos is just as important as optimizing your lineups.
It's a delicate balance, for sure. It speaks to the human element of coaching. You're not just dealing with X's and O's. You're dealing with people with their own aspirations, insecurities, sensitivities.
It's a good reminder that the NBA is as much about psychology as it is about athleticism.
Couldn't agree more.
And speaking of the human element, I want to shift our focus to something that often gets overlooked in the world of professional sports: ownership changes. The Celtics and the Timberwolves are both franchises at a crossroads right now.
They are.
And the decisions made by their new owners, well, they could have a huge impact on these teams.
Ownership changes can be pivotal moments in a franchise's history. New owners, they bring their own vision, priorities, financial resources. It can dramatically alter the team's trajectory.
It's like a whole new chapter is beginning for these teams and their fans.
Exactly. And these transitions also highlight the business side of the NBA. It's easy to get caught up in the drama on the court, but the reality is these franchises are businesses,
Right.
and their financial health has a massive impact on their ability to compete.
That's something this article really drives home. The Celtics sale price could influence future expansion plans for the whole league.
Huge implications.
And then you got the Timberwolves' new owners, who are going to have to make some tough decisions about payroll and their roster.
Lots of tough choices ahead.
It's high stakes, not just for those teams, but for the NBA as a whole.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that the decisions made in the boardroom can have just as much impact as the plays made on the court.
Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, we've covered a lot of ground here: superstar trades, rising stars, playoff contenders, the business side of the NBA. I'm curious, what stands out to you as the most surprising or thought-provoking takeaway from this deep dive?
You know, for me, it's the sheer unpredictability of this season. We've seen so many key players go down with injuries.
Yeah.
It's created this landscape where a dark horse team could absolutely make a deep playoff run.
That's what makes it so exciting. And on that note, I want to leave you with this. With so much talent sidelined, is this the year a dark horse team shocks the world? What do you think?
It's a question worth pondering. We're seeing so much parity in the league right now. The talent gap between the top teams and those middle-of-the-pack teams, it's not as wide as it used to be.
So you're saying the door is open for a team to come out of nowhere and make a run?
Absolutely. All it takes is a hot streak at the right time, a few lucky bounces, and the belief that they can compete with anyone.
I love it. This deep dive has got me fired up for the rest of the season. Anything can happen, and that's what keeps us coming back for more.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into a topic that's sure to pique your curiosity.
See you then. It's really impressive. You know, they've really bought into Thibodeau's system. They're playing with this real sense of purpose. It's a pretty stark contrast to the Bucks, who just seem to live and die by Giannis's heroics.
So are you saying the Knicks are a more complete team than the Bucks? That's a bold statement.
I wouldn't necessarily say one is better than the other. It's more about recognizing that there are different ways to build a team, you know,
Right.
and how those approaches translate to playoff success. The Bucks, they have the ultimate weapon in Giannis.
No doubt.
But that reliance on him, it can also be a weakness. Like if he's having an off night or if a team figures out how to shut him down, they don't have as many other options to turn to. The Knicks, they have a more balanced attack, a system that doesn't completely depend on one superstar.
I see your point. It's like that classic debate: individual brilliance versus team synergy. Both approaches have their pros and cons. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in the playoffs. get too ahead of ourselves. I want to go back to something we were talking about earlier. The impact of injuries. It's been a brutal season for those, and the ripple effects are felt everywhere.
It's crazy, right? The number of star players who have missed significant time this year is insane. And like we were saying before, Wembanyama's injury, it's not just about him missing out on his rookie season. It can change who wins Rookie of the Year, even as affect how much money other guys get in their contracts.
It's a wild domino effect. One injury can set off this chain reaction that impacts everything. Award races, playoff seeding, team finances, you name it. And speaking of finances, this article talks about how all NBA selections could affect some of these young guys' contracts.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not just about the prestige. Making an All-NBA team can mean a huge payday.
Big time.
Guys like Mobley, Cunningham, Barnes, Trae Young, if they make an All-NBA team, they can be looking at massive contract extensions.
It's not just about the accolades, it's about getting that bag. I bet these young guys are feeling the pressure. Not only do they want to win games, but their individual performance could determine how much money they make in the future.
It's a lot to handle, no doubt, especially when you're still so young in your career. But it also shows you the business side of the NBA, right? How individual performance is tied to financial rewards. These guys aren't just athletes, they're businessmen, negotiating contracts, building their brands.
That's a great point. They got to think about all that stuff. All right, so we've covered a lot: superstar trades, playoff contenders, the financial side of things. But I want to go back to something that I found really interesting in this article: the Oklahoma City Thunder's Twin Towers experiment.
Ah, yes. Thunder. They've been quietly exceeding expectations this season,
They have, and their willingness to try different lineups has been a big part of that.
for sure. It shows a real commitment to figuring out what works best.
They're playing Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein together, which a lot of people thought wouldn't work in today's NBA.
It is kind of going against the grain, right? It's like a throwback to a different era of basketball, back when you had those dominant big men clogging up the paint. But in today's game, where it's all about spacing and three-point shooting, can two big guys really thrive?
That's the question, isn't it?
The article seems to think it all hinges on Chet Holmgren's shooting ability. If he can consistently hit those outside shots, it opens up so many options for the Thunder.
It would make their offense really difficult to defend.
He'd become a total matchup nightmare. Too big for smaller guys to guard on the perimeter, too skilled for traditional centers to handle in the post.
So it's a pretty fascinating experiment. It shows how the Thunder are committed to developing their players and finding creative solutions. Speaking of teams exceeding expectations, what about the Denver Nuggets?
The Nuggets are just a machine, aren't they? Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, they just work so well together. Their offense is so smooth, with all that ball movement, those crisp passes, scoring from all over the court. It's a testament to chemistry and a well-designed system.
They're like the opposite of that isolation heavy style that's so common in the league these days.
Right.
And yet they're so effective, it shows you don't necessarily need a team full of superstars to be successful.
You just need the right pieces fitting together.
Exactly. They've built a contender through smart drafting, good player development, and a coaching staff that knows how to use their talent. They're a model for how to build sustained success in a league that's often so focused on the short term.
No doubt about it. They've really built something special there.
But they still have some choices to make, particularly with their starting lineup. The article talks about who should start alongside Murray and Jokic, Christian Braun or Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And it's not just about basketball, right? You've got the young, promising Braun, and then you've got Westbrook, a future Hall of Famer, who's also known for, well, wanting things his way,
He's a strong personality.
to say the least. It's a challenge to integrate a guy like him into a system that already has two ball-dominant stars. You don't want to mess with the chemistry that's made them so successful.
There's a risk of upsetting the balance.
Exactly. And the article actually quotes one executive who thinks the Nuggets should start Westbrook, even if it's not the best basketball decision.
Really?
Yeah, just to keep him happy.
So sometimes managing egos is just as important as making the right basketball decisions.
Sometimes you got to play the psychology game as much as the X's and O's.
It's a reminder that coaching is about more than just the game itself. You're dealing with people and all their complexities. All right, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about something that often gets overlooked: ownership changes. The Celtics and the Timberwolves, they're both at turning points. And the decisions made by their new owners could have huge consequences.
Oh, absolutely. Ownership changes can completely reshape a franchise. New owners bring their own ideas, their own priorities, their
It's like a fresh start, a new chapter for these organizations and their fans.
And it highlights the business side of the NBA. It's easy to get caught up in the on-court action, but at the end of the day, these are businesses.
Right.
And their financial health plays a big role in their ability to compete.
The article makes that really clear. The price the Celtics sell for could actually affect the league's expansion plans down the road. And the Timberwolves' new owners will have some tough decisions to make about their payroll and their roster. It's high stakes stuff, not just for those teams, but for the whole league.
It's all connected, and it reminds us that what happens in the boardroom can be just as important as what happens on the court.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. So much of what happens in the NBA is driven by factors that go beyond the game itself. It's a reminder that it's not just about the players, it's about the whole ecosystem.
It really is. And these ownership transitions also kind of highlight that business side of the NBA. It's easy to get caught up in all the on-court drama, but these franchises, their businesses, and their financial health, that has a huge impact on whether they can really compete or not.
Yeah, this article really emphasizes that point. Like the Celtics sale price, that could actually influence the league's future expansion plans. And for the Timberwolves as new owners, they've got some big decisions to make. Payroll, the roster,
Lots of tough choices ahead.
it's high stakes, not just for those teams, but for the whole NBA.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that those decisions made in the boardroom, they can be just as important as what happens out there.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Superstar trades, rising stars, playoff contenders, the business side of things. I'm curious, what's been the most surprising or thought-provoking thing for you in this deep dive?
It's the unpredictability of this season that really stands out to me. We've seen so many injuries to key players, right? It's created this situation where any team could make a run, really. A dark horse could absolutely come out of nowhere and make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that in the NBA, anything can happen.
That's what makes it so exciting. And with that in mind, I want to leave everyone with this question. With all these injuries to big name players, could this be the year a dark horse team really shocks the world?
It's definitely a question worth thinking about. The league is pretty balanced right now. That talent gap between the top teams and those middle of the pack teams,
Yeah.
well, it's not as wide as it used to be.
So you're saying there's a chance for a team to come out of nowhere and make a real run?
Absolutely. All it takes is a hot streak at the right time, maybe a few lucky bounces, and a belief that they can beat anybody.
I love it. This deep dive has me pumped for the rest of the season. Anything can happen, and that's what keeps us coming back for more.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive. We'll be tackling a new topic that's sure to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another deep dive. And today we are going to be talking about Luka Modric.
Luka Modric.
Have you heard of him?
I have heard of him, yes.
He just won the Puskas Award for Best Goal of the Year.
At 39 years old.
Yeah, 39 years old. So what we're going to be doing today is taking a look at Luka Modric
That's fun.
and kind of all the things that got him to this point. I mean, winning an award at 39 years old, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, especially in the world of professional football.
Right, exactly.
How is he still doing it?
Yeah, how is he still doing this? So that's what we're going to take a look at today.
Exactly. So we have a ton of different sources about Luka Modric.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we've got some articles from ESPN and The Guardian. We've got some interviews
Oh, cool.
with former teammates and coaches, and it's gonna be really interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to kind of piece together his story. So.
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm ready.
All right, so let's start at the beginning, shall we?
Let's do it.
With Luka Modric, I mean, he's not just this incredible player now. There's a whole history that led to this. Where did it all start?
Right, where did it all begin?
Yeah.
So Luka Modric was born in 1985
Okay.
in a small village in Croatia. But
It's already humble beginnings. Small village.
and it wasn't all sunshine and roses.
No.
I mean, this was during a time of war.
Right. This is during the Croatian War of Independence.
Exactly. So just imagine growing up in that environment.
It's crazy to think about the resilience that would build in you from such a young age. I mean, to face that kind of adversity,
Yeah, and it
shapes a person.
makes you wonder how much that influenced
Oh yeah, for sure.
his later career and his determination.
You can't separate those things, right? Those early experiences,
Right.
they become a part of who you are.
Exactly.
And for Modric, it seems like it really instilled this inner strength.
Definitely. I mean, to go from playing, I read he was playing in parking lots
Wow.
as a kid,
Because of the war.
yeah, just wherever he could find a space to kick a ball around, to becoming this global football superstar.
Yeah.
That's
That's wild. So we start with like almost like this very difficult beginning, right? And then he ends up like a superstar. So what's the path? Like how does that happen?
Yeah, how did he get from point A to point B?
Yeah,
So his professional career, it starts at Dinamo Zagreb, which is
Dinamo Zagreb. Now is that like one of the? I don't know much about Croatian football, but is that like a big club there?
yeah, it's a big club in Croatia.
Okay. Okay.
They're known for like developing a lot of young talent.
So this is where he kind of like cuts his teeth. You know, gets the early experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And
But even then, like you don't just walk into Dinamo Zagreb and become a star, right? Like, was there more to it? No, it wasn't like an immediate, success story. I mean, he had a couple loan spells in smaller clubs.
oh, so he got bounced around a little bit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there was like Zrinski Mostar and Inter Zapresic.
So not glamorous,
No, not super glamorous.
but like crucial steps, right?
Yeah,
Like part of the journey.
yeah, definitely like shaping him as a player.
So in those early years, what did he see? What was he good at? What was he developing?
Well, one of the things that really stood out even back then was his ability to control the game,
Control the game. What do you mean by that?
like dictating the pace,
Okay.
knowing when to speed things up, when to slow things down.
It's almost like a chess player, right?
Yeah.
Thinking several moves ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fascinating.
And it's something that, people often overlook when they're watching him play.
Right, because it's not flashy. It's not like the highlight reel goal,
Exactly.
but it's so crucial for a team's success.
Absolutely.
So he's already developing that in those early years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And, it's this foundation that he built at Dinamo. And through those loan spells, that eventually caught the eye of Tottenham Hotspur
Oh, wow.
in 2008.
So that's a big jump, right? From Croatia to the Premier League.
Yeah, huge.
That's a whole different level.
Yeah, I mean, the Premier League is known for being like,
More physical,
much more physical,
faster pace.
higher stakes.
Yeah.
So how did he handle that transition?
I mean, a lot of players struggle with that jump.
Yeah, I would think so. It's a huge adjustment.
But Modric, he adapted brilliantly.
Really?
And I think it was more than just, the physical adjustment.
Okay.
It was like he really understood,
The tactics.
yeah, like the tactical side of the game.
He's like a student of the game, almost
Yeah.
like analyzing opponents,
Yeah, he studied opponents, he figured out,
their weaknesses.
yeah, like how to exploit weaknesses.
Okay.
And he wasn't like the biggest or strongest player on the pitch, but
No.
he could outsmart them.
Yeah, he can read the game
That's
in
fascinating.
a way that few others can do.
So he's like a brain. He's like the brain of the team. Okay, so those Tottenham years,
Yeah.
they were more than just like adjusting to the Premier League. It's like he was refining his game, becoming even more clever,
Yeah, exactly. It was like
like a masterclass.
it was like a boot camp
Yeah.
preparing him for what was to come next.
Okay.
I mean, I remember that goal he scored against Bolton Wanderers.
Oh yeah.
Just like it was pure magic.
I gotta look that one up. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, you got to see. It's like he knew exactly where everyone on the field was going to be
Wow.
before it even happened.
That's incredible. So we've got this like foundation in Croatia. He hones his skills at Tottenham.
Yeah.
Then what? Like what's the next step?
Well, from Tottenham,
Yeah.
he makes the move to Real Madrid
Oh wow.
in 2012,
That's huge.
which is, I mean, talk about pressure.
Talk about pressure. Real Madrid, that's like the pinnacle, right, for a lot of players.
Yeah.
Like the club of Galacticos.
The Galacticos.
Yeah, so how did he handle that shift?
I mean, initially there were doubts.
Really?
Yeah, like some people questioned,
Like if he could cut it.
yeah, like if his style of play would really fit in at Real Madrid,
Right.
which was known for like this attacking flair.
Yeah, all about the big names, scoring goals.
Yeah, exactly.
And Modric's not necessarily known for that, right? He's more like the playmaker,
A playmaker.
the strategist.
Yeah, and
So people were skeptical.
yeah, there were whispers about him being a flop.
No way.
Yeah, but
But we all know how that turned out.
we know how that turned out.
Yeah.
4 Champions League titles in 5 years.
It's crazy. Including 3 in a row.
3 in a row. I mean, it's
Unprecedented.
unbelievable, especially when you consider those early doubts.
Yeah, like what changed?
So what changed?
Yeah.
I think Modric, he didn't change.
Okay.
He stayed true to his style.
Okay.
That methodical, intelligent approach to the game.
Right. So it wasn't him that changed. It was like the perception of him.
Yeah, and I think what happened is like his teammates, they started to adapt to him.
Ah, interesting.
They realized that like his vision, his passing, his ability to control the tempo, it made everyone around him better.
Wow.
And so it wasn't just him fitting into the Real Madrid system.
Right.
He was like reshaping it,
Oh, that's cool.
making it work for him.
So he's not just a player, he's like an architect.
Yeah.
Okay, love that.
And this brings us to
Oh.
that Puskás award-winning goal against Girona.
Yes.
Let's talk about this goal.
Let's break it down.
All right, so for those who haven't seen it, imagine this. It's late in the game.
Okay.
Real Madrid needs like a spark.
Tensions are high.
Yeah, and suddenly
Hey, I'm on the edge of my seat.
the ball comes to Modric.
All right.
He controls it with his chest.
Chest control. Nice.
Takes a touch to set himself up,
Okay. Setting it up.
and then boom,
Here we go.
he unleashes this volley.
Man.
Rocket shot that just soars into the top corner of the net.
Get out of here.
And the crowd
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
crowd erupts. The commentators are going crazy.
What do the commentators say?
They're like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what a goal.
Yeah.
Like just pure amazement.
Wow.
Even the opposing goalkeeper just kind of like stands there.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Helpless. You love to see it,
Yeah.
but it's not just like a lucky shot, right?
Right.
There's got to be more to it.
Like, was it luck?
Right.
Was it a once in a lifetime kind of shot?
Yeah.
Was there something more?
I think there's something more. So tell me.
This is where that story from his former teammate Casemiro comes in.
Oh yeah, Casemiro. All right, what did he say?
So Casemiro says that after Real Madrid won the Champions League in 2016,
Okay.
Modric
Yeah.
calmly turns to his teammates.
Okay, calm, cool, collected emotion.
Yeah,
It
what
says-
does he say?
What does he say?
We have to win 2 more Champions Leagues now.
Hold on.
Like he predicted it.
He predicted they were going to win 2 more.
Yeah.
And that's confidence, but that's also like almost like a
Visions.
vision. Like he sees the future.
And they did.
They did.
They won 2 more, exactly as he said.
So it's not just talent, right? It's
Yeah.
this belief, this drive,
Yeah, this unshakable belief.
and that goal. I mean, it all makes sense now. It's
Yeah.
not just a fluke. It's like
It's like a manifestation.
yeah, it's like a manifestation of that inner belief.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the skills, we've got the mentality, but like, how does he keep this up year after year? He's almost 40.
He's defined
Father time.
father time.
That's what we got to figure out next.
Yeah, how is he doing it?
How is he doing it?
That's a great question.
And that's what we'll dive into next.
All right, sounds good.
We'll look at the training, the discipline, the mental game, the whole thing,
The whole 9 yards.
the whole 9 yards exactly. All right, I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
So we left off talking about how Luka Modric is almost 40 years old and still playing at this elite level. How is that even possible?
I know, it's crazy. Most players peak much earlier, right?
Exactly. In a sport as physically demanding as football, you just don't see this kind of longevity very often. So there has to be something special going on here.
Right, like what's his secret? Like we've touched on his work ethic and his dedication, but is there something more? Like how does he physically keep up with players half his age?
Well, for starters, he's incredibly disciplined about his physical conditioning. From what I've read, he follows a strict training regimen. He's got a carefully planned diet, recovery protocols, the whole 9 yards.
So he's treating his body like a high performance machine.
Precisely. He understands that to compete at this level, especially as you get older, you can't afford to slow up. You have to be meticulous about how you train and recover.
But it can't just be about the physical side, can it? There has to be a mental aspect as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I think really sets Modric apart. He has this incredible mental resilience, a refusal to let age or expectations define him.
That story about him predicting those Champions League wins, that comes to mind. It's like he had this unshakable belief in himself and his team.
Exactly. He doesn't just accept his role, he defines it. And he doesn't let doubts creep in, He doesn't let the pressure get to him. He just stays focused on what he can do. His training, his preparation, his performance on the pitch.
I wonder how much his childhood played into that mental toughness. Growing up in war-torn Croatia, facing hardship at such a young age, it must have forged a certain resilience within him.
There's no doubt those early experiences had a profound impact on him. He learned to adapt, to overcome challenges, to never give up even when things are tough, and you can see those qualities reflected in his career.
It's pretty amazing to think about the impact he's had on the world of football. He's not just a talented player, but he's also a role model, inspiration to aspiring footballers all over the world.
He really is, and beyond football, his story resonates with anyone facing challenges, anyone feeling limited by age or circumstances. Modric shows us that with the right mindset and that unwavering dedication, we can push beyond perceived boundaries and achieve some pretty extraordinary things.
His story is a powerful reminder that limitations are often self-imposed. It's our beliefs, our attitudes, and our willingness to keep pushing ourselves that ultimately determine what we can achieve.
Well said. Thinking about his career as a whole, we've discussed the goals, the trophies, the awards. But what will Luka Modric ultimately be remembered for? What will his true legacy be?
That's a great question. What do you think?
That's what I think we should unpack next. It's about more than just the accolades, It's about how he changed the game itself.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So we've been talking about what Luka Modric's legacy will be.
Yeah, like beyond the trophies and the awards.
Right, what will he be remembered for? I think for me, it's how he redefined what it means to be a midfielder. You know, like the traditional idea of a midfielder is like this big, powerful player winning tackles.
Yeah.
And Modric is not that.
Right.
He's not the biggest guy on the pitch, but he controls the game with his brain.
It's like he's a chess player out there.
Exactly. He's thinking several moves ahead. He's anticipating where the ball's going to go, where his teammates are going to be, and he's dictating the pace of the game.
And he does it all with this like elegance and grace.
Yeah, it's like watching a ballet dancer out there.
Exactly.
It's not about brute force, it's about intelligence and finesse.
So it's interesting because in a sport that's often so focused on like individual stars, flashy goals,
Yeah.
Modric almost understated.
He's not about the ego or individual glory. He's a true team player.
Yeah.
Like you see it in the way he elevates the performance of those around him.
His passing is incredible.
Oh yeah.
He's always looking to set up his teammates, create opportunities for them to shine.
And that's a big part of his legacy too. You know, he's shown that you don't have to be the loudest or the most aggressive player to be a leader.
Right.
You can lead by example, by intelligence, by constantly striving to make your teammates better.
And his impact on Croatian football. I mean, captaining them to the World Cup final in 2018
Incredible.
for a country of Croatia's size that's monumental.
A national hero.
Yeah, he's given Croatia a place on the world stage and inspired a whole new generation of players. It makes me think about like the broader message of Modric's story,
What do you mean?
like beyond football.
Okay.
This guy grew up in a war zone, faced unimaginable hardship, and yet he never gave up on his dream.
Right.
He pushed himself, worked harder, and achieved things that most people wouldn't even dare to dream of.
It's a story about resilience.
Yeah.
About the power of believing in yourself even when the odds are stacked against you.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that limitations are often self-imposed.
Oh, I like that.
It's our beliefs, our attitudes, our willingness to keep pushing ourselves that ultimately determine what we can achieve.
That's a powerful message.
And I think Modric embodies it.
He really does.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into Luka Modric, his talent, his dedication, his resilience,
It's truly inspiring.
what will your legacy be? What impact will you leave on the world? Think about it.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep chasing your dreams.
All right, so get this. Luka Doncic
Luka Doncic.
is now a Los Angeles Laker.
Wow.
Anthony Davis, sporting a Dallas Mavericks jersey.
Yeah. Crazy,
I
right?
know, right? This trade, I mean, it sent shockwaves
Huge.
through the entire NBA,
Oh, yeah.
leaving like fans and analysts just scrambling to figure out what it all means.
Yeah.
So today, we're going deep on this seismic deal, exploring how it might just reshape the future of the league.
It's wild.
It's nuts.
I mean, what's truly captivating about this trade is just the sheer audacity of it all.
Yeah,
We're talking about two young superstars, I mean, each capable of carrying a franchise,
Oh, yeah.
switching teams in their prime. This
Right.
wasn't a minor roster tweak. No. This was a tectonic shift, like
Totally.
in the balance of power.
Yeah, for sure. So let's like break it down for our listeners.
Okay, yeah.
Can you walk us through just the specifics of the trade, like who went where, what else?
All right. So in the simplest terms, Luka Doncic
Just terms.
is now a Los Angeles Laker. Anthony Davis is a Dallas Maverick. But the deal, it involved more than just the two players.
Okay.
So Dallas also received the Lakers' 2027 and 2029 first-round draft picks, and they swapped their 2028 second-rounder for the Lakers' 2026 second-round pick.
Wow, those draft picks are valuable, like especially in a league
Oh yeah,
where young talent is king.
huge. Yeah.
So, what was the motivation behind this for both teams? What were they hoping to achieve?
Well, the Lakers are clearly in win-now mode.
Yeah.
I mean, pairing Luka's incredible playmaking abilities with LeBron James, even in the twilight of his career, I mean,
Ah.
creates a potentially unstoppable offensive force. They're looking to add another championship banner AST.
Makes sense. But doesn't that create like an interesting dynamic? I mean, LeBron is known for controlling the ball.
For sure.
Can we really expect two ball-dominant players
Right.
to coexist effectively on the court?
Oh,
Like,
that-
is that going to work?
that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? On paper, it looks fantastic, but the real test will be their chemistry on the court. It'll be fascinating to see how Coach Ham manages their roles.
Oh, yeah.
and playing time.
Speaking of fascinating,
Yeah.
even NBA Commissioner Adam Silver
Oh yeah.
felt compelled to comment on this trade,
Really?
and he rarely does that.
That's true. He usually stays above the fray when it comes to individual trades, but this one was clearly too big to ignore. He actually chose to address it on the Pardon My Take podcast.
Pardon my take.
Yeah, a rather unconventional platform for a commissioner.
Okay, that definitely piqued my interest. A comedy sports podcast?
Right.
What exactly did he say?
He emphasized two main points: competitive balance
Okay,
and player empowerment.
okay,
While acknowledging the magnitude of the trade,
right.
he defended it as a natural outcome of teams and players exercising their rights within the league's current system.
I see.
He seemed to suggest that player empowerment is simply the reality of the modern NBA.
So he's actually saying
Yeah.
this is the new normal.
Exactly.
But does this trade actually make the league more or less competitive? What do you think?
It's a complex issue.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you have the Lakers, already a strong team, adding another superstar.
Right.
On the other hand, Dallas is now positioned for a potential rebuild around Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So did the Lakers get too powerful?
Yeah.
Did Dallas get enough in return? It's too early to say for sure.
You mentioned Dallas potentially rebuilding around Anthony Davis. Isn't he injury prone though?
Oh, yes.
Like that's a risky gamble for a franchise to take.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Davis's health has always been a concern. Dallas is betting that he can stay healthy and become the cornerstone of their franchise.
Okay.
But it's a gamble, no doubt. They're essentially banking on his potential rather than his proven track record.
Right. Okay. So we've talked about the team dynamics, but what about the players themselves?
Yeah.
This is a huge change
Oh, yeah.
for both Luka and AD. How did they react to the news?
Their initial statements reflected a mix of emotions: excitement for the new challenge, some
Yeah.
understandable nervousness, and a sense of gratitude for the previous teams.
Yeah.
Luka specifically mentioned the honor of playing alongside LeBron James.
That's awesome.
And AD emphasized his desire to lead the Mavericks to a championship.
Oh wow.
You know, he actually said, "I'm ready to embrace the challenge of being the guy in Dallas." It'll be interesting to see if he can live up to that ambition.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting you bring that up because it reminds me of other superstar trades in NBA history.
Oh, yeah,
This Luka AD deal, it just seems to echo some of those
right.
major shakeups that like reshape the league's landscape.
Absolutely. We're talking about moves like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to the Lakers in '75,
Okay.
Shaq to the Heat in '04,
Right.
even Kevin Durant joining the Warriors in 2016.
Oh yeah,
Each of those trades had a profound impact on the league.
for sure. So for our listener who might not be as familiar with those historic trades, can you give us a quick rundown of their significance?
Sure. So Kareem's move to LA brought them multiple championships and ushered in the Showtime era, like a period of fast-paced,
Oh yeah,
exciting basketball that captivated fans worldwide.
Showtime. Yeah.
Shaq's arrival in Miami gave them their first ever title
Oh, wow.
and established them as a force in the Eastern Conference.
And KD's move to Golden State.
Yeah,
That created a dynasty, right?
it did. Although it also sparked a heated debate about super teams and competitive balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Some argue that super teams, while exciting to watch, can stifle competition and make the league less interesting.
It's that age-old question:
Right.
parity versus star power. Fans love seeing stacked teams.
Yeah.
But is it at the expense of a level playing field?
Exactly. And this Luka AD trade throws fuel on that fire.
Oh, for sure.
It'll be interesting to see how the league adapts to this new era of player movement.
Speaking of adaptation, Adam Silver also mentioned the 2025 Paris Games when discussing this trade.
The Paris Games.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a leap
Yeah.
to connect a blockbuster trade to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Can you help us understand that connection?
It might seem like a stretch at first, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you consider the NBA's global ambitions.
Okay.
The Paris Games are a massive opportunity to showcase the league to an international audience, and Luka and AD are two of the most popular players worldwide.
I see. I see. So having these international superstars on prominent teams
Yeah,
playing in a high-profile event like the Olympics.
precisely. It's a marketing dream. The NBA can leverage their global appeal to further expand its international fan base. Remember that game in Paris between the Spurs and the Pacers? The one where the crowd was going absolutely bonkers?
Yeah, I remember seeing the highlights. The atmosphere was electric.
Silver was actually at that game,
He was there.
and he specifically said that the NBA is a global game, and we want to continue to grow our fan base around the world.
Okay, so it seems like this trade isn't just about two teams and two players.
No,
It's about the NBA's strategic goals for international growth as well.
absolutely. And that brings us to another crucial aspect interesting aspects of this trade is that the Mavericks managed to gain significant cap relief
Okay,
by trading away Donicic's massive contract.
I see.
This gives them a lot more flexibility to
Right.
build their roster around Anthony Davis.
So they're essentially freeing up money to potentially sign other key players.
Exactly.
That makes sense. What about the Lakers?
Yeah.
They're taking on Luka's huge contract.
Right.
Doesn't that limit their options?
It does.
Yeah.
But they're clearly betting on the fact that Luca's talent is worth the financial commitment.
Okay.
They're hoping his arrival will bring championships
Right.
and boost their revenue through merchandise sales, ticket sales, and increased brand value.
It's a high stakes gamble for both teams, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. The Mavericks are taking a risk on Anthony Davis's health and hoping they can build a contender around him.
Right.
And the Lakers are going all in on Luca and LeBron coexisting and leading them to a championship.
It's this one trade has sparked so many questions and potential scenarios.
What makes it so compelling? It's
Yeah.
not just a transaction, it's a catalyst for change across the entire league.
Really makes you think about the power dynamics in the NBA. It really makes you think about the power dynamics in the NBA. Two teams can make a deal like this, and suddenly the entire landscape shifts.
Yeah.
What does this say about the current state of the league?
Well, it highlights a fascinating tension that has always existed in the NBA, you know?
Yeah.
A push and pull between the desire for competitive balance and the reality of player empowerment.
Right.
Teams want a fair shot at the championship,
Yeah,
but players also want the agency to choose where they play
for sure.
and with whom they play.
Totally.
This trade is a prime example of that dynamic in action.
And it's not just about the players, right? The teams themselves are making bold moves,
Oh, yeah.
taking calculated risks to try and achieve their goals. I mean, think about the Lakers.
Right.
They're betting their future on Luka and LeBron meshing well together both on and off the court.
It's a gamble, no doubt. There's always the potential for clashing egos
Yeah.
or stylistic conflicts when you bring together two superstars with such distinct personalities and playing styles.
Right.
But if it works, if they can find a way to coexist and complement each other's strengths,
Yeah.
the Lakers could be looking at another dynasty.
And then you have the Mavericks.
Yeah.
They're facing a whole different set of challenges.
Totally.
They've essentially hit the reset button, hoping to build the new era around Anthony Davis.
It's a fascinating strategic shift for them.
Yeah.
They've gone from contending for a championship to focusing on long-term development,
Yeah.
and they placed a huge bet on Anthony Davis's ability to stay healthy and lead their franchise.
It's almost like two parallel narratives unfolding simultaneously.
Yeah.
The Lakers chasing immediate glory with their star-studded duo,
Right.
and the Mavericks patiently building for the future.
It's a perfect illustration of the cyclical nature of the NBA. Dynasties rise and fall, teams rebuild and retool, and new stars emerge to challenge the established order.
Yeah.
This trade is just another chapter in that ongoing saga.
It makes you wonder what's going through Luka's and AD's minds right now.
Yeah.
They're both incredibly talented players at pivotal points in their careers.
Yeah.
How will this trade shape their legacy?
That's the human element that makes the story so captivating.
For sure.
We often focus on the strategic and financial aspects of trades,
Right.
but at the end of the day, it's about real people pursuing their dreams and
Yeah.
facing immense pressure to succeed.
Okay.
Luca now has the chance to learn from one of the all-time greats in LeBron James,
Right.
while AD has the opportunity to prove he can be the undisputed leader of the franchise.
It's going to be fascinating to see how they both adapt to their new environments and the challenges that lie ahead.
Absolutely. This trade has thrown a wrench into everyone's predictions. It's disrupted the status quo and created a whole new set of variables.
Yep.
The NBA is a dynamic, ever-evolving ecosystem, and this trade has proved that anything can happen.
It reminds us that even in a league driven by statistics and analytics, the human element remains the most unpredictable and compelling factor. The emotions, the aspirations, the rivalries, these are the things that truly make the NBA such a captivating spectacle.
You're absolutely right. And that's why this trade is so much more than just a transaction. It's a story about ambition, risk, and the pursuit of greatness. It's a story that will continue to unfold in the years to come, and we'll all be watching to see how it plays out.
There you have it, folks. A deep dive into the Luka AD trade. A trade that has sent ripples throughout the NBA and left us all pondering the future of the league.
Yeah.
We've explored the motivations behind the deal, the potential implications for both teams, the historical parallels, and the human stories at the heart of it all. But this is just the beginning.
For sure.
This trade has set the stage for a new era in the NBA, and we can't wait to see what unfolds next.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going to be taking a look at Cobra Kai stars Tanner Buchanan and Mary Mauser,
Yeah,
who recently announced their engagement.
yes.
And we're going to be looking at their journey from on-screen chemistry as Sam and Robbie to, off-screen engagement and what that tells us about relationships,
It's so interesting.
personally and professionally.
Yeah, how those lines can sometimes get blurred.
Exactly. And their engagement announcement was a surprise for a lot of people. They went for that full hard launch, on Instagram.
Oh yeah, very much a hard launch.
With a picture of them like dressed up.
Oh, very glamorous.
Yeah, strolling through like a swanky hotel lobby.
Yeah, it's interesting how that's becoming like a trend now, isn't it, for celebrities
Yeah.
to do this hard launch thing.
Yeah, like a way to kind of control the narrative, before like the rumor mill just goes crazy.
Right, get ahead of it.
And the caption was really sweet on that post. It was talking about the closing of one chapter and celebrating the continuation of another.
Very sweet. It makes you wonder though about all the chapters that led to this moment.
Exactly. And they've been co-stars since 2018.
Right. So
So
there's a lot of shared history there, a lot of time.
spent together.
Yeah, definitely.
And remember, their characters on Cobra Kai had a pretty intense romantic storyline, especially in like the early seasons.
For sure, yeah.
Buchanan even admitted in an interview that filming those romantic scenes with Mauser made him super anxious because
Oh.
they were such good friends in real life.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I said the romantic scenes are what caused me the most anxiety. When we had our first kiss scene in season 2, they were asking us, "Are you ready?" My heart was pounding. I was shaking. It just feels weird to go to that place because we're such good friends.
Oh wow, that's really interesting.
I know.
It makes you wonder if that was because he was worried about like
Yeah,
blurring the lines between their real friendship
right.
and their character's relationship.
And that respect level too.
Absolutely. And it also speaks to their level of trust and respect for each other, right?
Right.
Like to admit that
Exactly.
openly.
Yeah, it sounds like they had a very open and honest
Yeah.
dialogue about like navigating those scenes, which makes you think it's that, then transfer into the real relationship.
Yeah, you have to wonder if that open communication was like
Exactly.
part of what helped them evolve
Right.
their friendship into something more.
And then of course there was that red carpet event for the Cobra Kai finale
Oh yeah, where everyone was like, "What's going on?"
with the matching rings.
Yes, the matching silver rings. Like, whoa!
That was when the internet basically exploded.
Right, everyone was like analyzing every little detail,
Yeah.
trying to figure out are they or aren't they,
Right.
and then bam,
They dropped the bomb.
you know. And you can't blame people for being like so interested.
Right.
It's like a real life soap opera,
It is.
but with Hollywood glamour.
Yeah, exactly.
So fast.
It's like trying to figure out,
So-
what's genuine and what's for the cameras.
Totally. And I think even though there's that layer of public scrutiny, there are moments that you see that seem so genuine.
Yeah.
Like when Buchanan referred to Mauser as his ride or die confidant,
Yes.
he really emphasized how close the whole cast is, like a family.
He said there's not one person that we don't hang out with and have fun with, and we truly keep saying that we're gonna be around in each other's lives forever. I don't know how to explain it.
Wow, that's like
No.
true friendship right there.
Yeah.
And it makes you think about the environment on the set of Cobra Kai.
Mhm.
You know, like they really fostered a great place to work.
Right. Like a genuine family dynamic.
Yeah, you can really feel that their bond goes way beyond just being coworkers.
Right.
It's like they've been through so much together,
Hmm.
all those intense scenes.
Working together all those years.
Yeah,
Supporting each other through their careers.
totally. And that brings us to the next thing.
Yes.
Their individual career paths
Right. Their careers have been taken off.
separately,
Yeah.
which is also so cool.
I think it's really impressive how they've balanced their relationship
Yeah.
with their ambitions. Cannon's role
Yeah.
was a great example of him like stepping outside his comfort zone.
It really was. Yeah, he wasn't just the brooding bad boy from Cobra Kai anymore.
Right. He was charming and funny and likable.
He proved he could totally carry a movie and
Exactly.
appeal to a much wider audience.
And then Mouser has been so smart about the roles she's been choosing,
Oh yeah, for sure.
really showcasing her range.
Yeah, and her depth as an actress.
Right. And she's not afraid to take risks.
No, she's really pushing herself creatively.
I find it admirable how they are so supportive
Yes.
of each other's careers,
Yeah.
No competition, jealousy, just a shared passion.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about.
It's like they understand that a healthy relationship is about supporting each other's dreams,
Yes,
both individually and as a couple.
100%.
So true. And, going back to their engagement announcement, there was something so poignant about their Instagram caption. They were talking about like the closing of one chapter and celebrating the continuation of another.
It's a beautiful way to put it.
It
Like it
is.
really acknowledges their growth as individuals and as a couple.
Yeah,
They're acknowledging their passage, but also looking forward to the future.
exactly. And it makes you wonder about like all those behind the scenes moments
Right, all the little things
that led to this.
that we don't see.
Yeah, when did they realize that their friendship was something more?
Right.
What were those conversations like?
Yeah, we get these little glimpses into their lives
Through social media?
and interviews. So much is still private.
And maybe that's part of the appeal.
Yeah,
There's a certain mystique about
Right.
their relationship.
especially because they are in the public eye so much.
Yeah, they've managed to protect their privacy.
And that's something we can all learn from
Yes,
setting boundaries,
exactly.
protecting our personal lives.
Even when the cameras are always on you.
Right, like it's possible to be a celebrity and still have a private life.
Yes,
You don't have to sacrifice everything.
exactly. So ultimately, their journey from on-screen chemistry to off-screen engagement, it's a reminder that love can blossom in unexpected places.
It really is.
It's a testament to the power of connection, of shared experiences,
Taking a chance
taking that leap of faith.
when you find someone who really gets you.
Right. So what does this mean for you,
Good question.
dear listener? Why should you care about the love lives of these two actors?
Well, I think it's more than just a Hollywood romance.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest love stories start as friendships.
It's about recognizing the potential for love,
Yes,
in those unexpected places.
exactly.
Being open to possibility.
And being open to the fact that, like,
Yeah,
what you see on screen might not be the whole picture,
right.
you know?
Like seeing beyond the surface.
Right. Seeing beyond the characters.
Right. Appreciating the human connection.
Exactly. And celebrating the journey,
Yeah.
the ups and downs,
The challenges of
good, the
that
bad.
shape a relationship.
Finding that one person who makes it all worth it. Someone who, you can laugh with, who challenges you,
Yeah.
makes you want to be better.
Who will step onto the mat with you?
Literally and figuratively.
So true. And as their story continues to unfold, both individually and as a couple,
Right.
let's, celebrate their successes and learn from their journey.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe their next project will be something completely different.
Yes.
Like maybe they won't even play love interests.
Imagine that. What a twist.
I know that would be fun to see. Yeah, it would challenge our perceptions of them for sure.
It would.
Yeah, but think about how hard it must be
Oh, yeah.
to have such a public relationship
In this day and age.
in the world of social media.
Right. With all the scrutiny.
It's a total double-edged sword, right?
It is.
On the one hand, it lets celebrities connect with their fans
Yeah.
on a personal level and share their stories.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's just constant scrutiny.
It's like living in a fishbowl.
It really is.
Every move they make is analyzed.
Oh yeah, every photo, every comment.
It's crazy they've managed to stay so private.
I know. Like, remember how long they kept their relationship a secret?
Right. Everyone was speculating for years
Yeah, but they never said anything.
until they were ready.
It shows how committed they are to setting boundaries.
Yeah, they could have played up the romance
Oh yeah,
for the cameras.
but they didn't.
They chose to wait until they were ready.
And that's such a powerful message.
It is.
Like, you can be famous and still have a private life.
Right. You don't have to give everything up.
Exactly. You have to find that balance
Yeah. Between your public image.
and your true self.
And it seems like they've done that.
They have, and I think that's the real takeaway from their story.
Yeah.
It's not just about Hollywood.
It's about life.
Yeah.
It's about navigating challenges
With grace.
and authenticity.
Yeah, being true to who you are
Knowing your boundaries.
and having a good support system
Surrounding yourself with people who lift you up.
and finding that person who makes it all worthwhile,
Someone who gets you.
who makes you laugh and challenges you,
Exactly.
and who's ready to fight alongside you.
Literally and figuratively.
Exactly.
Okay, so that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Tanner Buchanan and Mary Mauser.
What a story.
What are your thoughts? What lessons have you learned? Leave a comment and let us know.
We'd love to hear from you.
And until next time.
Happy listening.
Hey! It's interesting to think about how their on-screen relationship in Cobra Kai might have, like,
Oh yeah.
influenced their dynamic in real life, Because remember their characters, Sam and Robbie?
Yeah.
They had a pretty
Tumultuous.
Yeah.
Like up and down.
full of drama relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, you almost have to wonder if navigating all those challenges on screen brought them closer off screen.
Right. It's like they went through relationship boot camps together,
Totally.
but in a fictional setting.
Right. right? And it's not just the challenges, but also the intimacy of those scenes.
Right.
You know, acting requires you to be vulnerable,
Hmm.
especially when you're portraying those romantic themes.
Totally. Like you're putting yourself out there emotionally.
Yeah,
Even if it's just for a story.
exactly. And when you're doing that with someone you already trust as a friend,
Yeah.
it could definitely create a deeper bond.
I think that's what makes their story so compelling. Like,
It blurs the lines
yeah.
between fiction and reality.
Right. Is it real? Is it acting?
Exactly.
And it speaks to the power of those shared experiences. You know?
Totally. Especially when those experiences are so emotionally charged.
Right. Exactly. And like they had on Cobra Kai.
For sure. They definitely went through a lot together.
Yeah. It's like they formed this connection in the middle of all this drama.
Yeah.
And it just endured, beyond the show.
Absolutely. But let's not forget about their individual careers too,
Oh yeah, for sure.
which are also taking off.
They are. It's impressive how they've both managed to balance their relationship
Yeah.
and their ambitions.
Yeah.
Like Buchanan's role and He's All That.
Yes. It's such a good movie.
I know, it was a great example of him stepping outside his comfort zone.
It really was. You know, he wasn't just the brooding bad boy from Cobra Kai.
Right. He was charming.
Unlikable.
He proved he could carry a film.
Yeah, and appealed to a way bigger audience.
Totally.
And Mauser's been really smart about the roles she's chosen,
Oh yeah, she has.
really showcasing her range and her depth as an actress.
Hmm.
She's not afraid to take risks.
No, not at all. She's pushing herself creatively. It's so cool to see, and I admire how supportive they are of each other's careers.
Yeah, me too.
You know, there's no sense of like,
Competition.
yeah, or jealousy.
Just like a shared passion.
That it's like they understand that a healthy relationship is about supporting each other's dreams
100%.
individually and as a couple.
It's a good lesson for everyone.
It is so true.
Yeah.
Going back to their engagement announcement, there was something so poignant about the caption on their Instagram where they were talking about, the closing of one chapter and celebrating the continuation of another.
I love that line. It's so well said.
It is. It really speaks to their growth,
Yeah.
as individuals and as a couple.
Absolutely.
They're acknowledging the past, but also looking ahead to the future.
Exactly. And it makes you think about all those little moments
Right.
that we don't see.
That led to this.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
When did they realize their friendship had become something more?
Right.
Like, what were those conversations like?
Yeah, it's like we get glimpses.
Yeah, through social
And
media.
interviews, so much is still a mystery.
And I think maybe that's part of the appeal.
Yeah, there's a certain mystique,
Yeah, like they have this privacy.
even though they're in the public eye.
I know, and that's something we can all learn from, setting those boundaries.
Protecting your personal life.
Yeah. Even when it feels like
Especially
the
when
cameras are always on you.
it's possible to be a celebrity and still have a private life.
Exactly. Like you don't have to sacrifice your happiness.
For fame, yeah, fortune,
It's about finding that balance between your public image and your true self.
100%. And it seems like they've figured it out.
They have. And that's like the ultimate takeaway
Yeah.
from their story.
It's not just about Hollywood.
It's about life.
Yeah, about figuring out life's challenges
It's grace.
and authenticity,
Being true to yourself
knowing your boundaries.
and having the right people around you.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with people who support you.
And finding that person who makes it all worth it.
Someone who makes you laugh,
Who challenges you.
who makes you want to be better,
Someone who will, step onto the mat with you.
literally and figuratively.
So true. It's like they went through relationship boot camp,
Right,
but in a fictional setting.
exactly. And think about how hard it must be
Oh yeah.
to have a relationship.
It's so public.
Yeah, in the age of social media.
Right, with all the scrutiny and opinions.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is.
On the one hand, social media lets communities connect with their fans,
Yeah.
all personally share their stories, control the narrative.
Right.
But then there's the other side
Yeah.
where you're just constantly being watched.
It's like living in a fishbowl.
It is. Every single thing you do is
My
analyzed.
eyes.
Yeah, every photo, every
And
comment.
it's amazing they've managed to stay so private for so long.
Right? Like, remember how everyone was speculating for years
I know.
about whether they were dating?
But they never confirmed anything,
Nope, not until they were ready.
which really shows their commitment
Yeah.
to setting boundaries, protecting their personal lives.
They could have easily played up the romance
Oh yeah,
for the cameras,
for the publicity.
and get more attention.
Right, but they didn't.
They waited.
And that's a really powerful message.
It is.
Like you can be famous
Yeah.
and still have a private life.
You don't have to sacrifice everything.
Right, you just have to find that balance
Exactly.
between your public image and who you really are.
And it seems like they've figured it out.
I think so too. And that's the ultimate takeaway
Yeah.
from their story.
It's not just a Hollywood romance.
No, it's about life,
Yeah. Navigating those challenges
personal and professional,
with grace,
authenticity,
being true to yourself,
knowing your boundaries,
having a good support system.
surrounding yourself with people who lift you up.
And finding that person who makes it all worth it,
Someone who makes you laugh.
who pushes you to be better,
Who's willing to step into the ring with you.
literally and figuratively.
So well said.
Thanks.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Tanner Buchanan and Mary Mouser.
What a journey.
It really is. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What lessons have you learned from their story?
Let us know in the comments.
We love hearing from you.
Until next time.
Happy listening. Bye. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, and it's a big one. Neymar Jr. The articles we found for this deep dive are all over the place. So he's back in Brazil playing for Santos again, after all that time in Europe. But it's not exactly the triumphant return everyone was expecting.
Yeah, it's well, it's definitely interesting. You've got this player, right? I mean, he was considered the next big thing for a while, back where it started. But the challenges are completely different this time.
That's what I keep thinking about. On the one hand, you've got these honestly brutal quotes from some of his former coaches, like Jorge Jesus, and then there's Al Hilal's CEO, Steven Calzada. They're saying he just wasn't cutting it in Saudi Arabia. And on top of that, there's all the pressure of the World Cup qualifiers coming up for Brazil.
Yeah, those comments, about his performance, or I guess lack of performance, those have got to sting, especially for a player like Neymar. It makes you wonder if coming back to Brazil was the right move.
Right, was it to rebuild, or is this like the start of a downward spiral? Because, let's be honest, his first few games back have not exactly been, what's the word, awe-inspiring.
3 games in, not a single win for Santos. You have to wonder, is this Neymar, or is it the team around him just not working? What does that say about his impact, right, or lack of impact?
Well, he hasn't scored any goals, no assists in those games. Plus, I mean, we can't forget that knee injury, right? Torn ACL and meniscus. He was sidelined for almost a year. His last game before this comeback was way back in October 2023.
That's a serious injury for sure. It's natural that he's still working his way back. But even with that, I mean, you'd expect a bit more from Neymar, wouldn't you? Especially when you consider Santos spent last year in Serie B, basically the second division in Brazil. Not exactly the best environment for a superstar comeback.
It's definitely not the same Santos team he left years ago. They're struggling. No defensive solidity, no real control in the midfield. Not a great recipe for success. And then you've got the new signings too, Gabriel Veron and Benjamin Rolheiser. They haven't gelled with the team yet, it seems like.
It's almost as if they're like banking on Neymar, hoping he can single-handedly drag them out of this. But is that real today? Especially now, after the injury and all the other everything.
So let's break this down a little. You've got Neymar trying to get his form back, his fitness back after a major injury, playing for a team that's, well, struggling in a league that's a definite step down from what he's used to. And then you add in, former coaches, colleagues publicly criticizing him. Where do we even begin to predict how this will play out?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this like the perfect storm? Will it push him, reignite that drive, or will it just bury him under all the expectations? There are some positive signs, some moments where you see that Neymar brilliance.
I'm thinking of that game against Corinthians. They lost, but he was the only bright spot for Santos, really. Those trademark dribbles, that creative spark, it was all there for at least part of it.
Exactly. It's not all bad news, right? You see those moments, and the talent's still there, and his fitness, it does seem to be improving slowly but surely.
Okay, so Corinthians. They handed Santos that loss in Neymar's return. They're coming off a pretty strong 2024 season, ended with a 9-game winning streak. Totally different story than Santos.
Right, and it showed in that match. They were dominant, especially in the first half. Energized, the crowd was really behind them. Their striker, Yuri Alberto, he scored 2 goals. And, that partnership with Memphis Depay really affected it to a completely different atmosphere than we've seen since.
So it's a stark contrast. A struggling Santos, a dominant Corinthians, and Neymar right in the middle trying to find his place again. What's going through your mind as you watch this play out?
It's a tough one to figure out, honestly. Part of me, you have to admire him for this, taking on this challenge, coming back to Santos, trying to lift them up. But then there's that other part, right? Is this really what he needs right now? I mean, this environment, all the pressure, the limitations.
It's like he's trying to rebuild his own career while carrying this whole team at the same time. And we haven't even talked about the scrutiny, right? Every single thing he does is analyzed to death by everyone.
That's what happens when you're at that level, a superstar athlete, especially Neymar. I mean, his career has been, had those incredible highs, but some very public lows too. Coming back to Santos, maybe he was supposed to be like an escape, rediscover the joy of playing, get away from the European pressure cooker. It's like the pressure just followed him home.
It's more than just external pressure, though, don't you think? He's got to be dealing with his own stuff too, right? Can he stay focused, avoid those, off-field distractions that have caused problems in the past? Because if not, this whole thing could really backfire.
Is he willing to be patient, trust the process, even if the results aren't there right away?
Because let's be real, patience is going to run out fast if Santos keeps losing. And Santos fans, they're not exactly known for, sitting quietly. They want to see wins and they want to see Neymar deliver.
Exactly. It adds another layer to it all, right? He's not just playing for himself anymore. It's for the city, for the legacy, for all of Brazil, hoping he can get that magic back.
And that makes me think about the national team. How does this move affect his chances at the World Cup in 2026? Help him, hurt him? What do you think?
Tough to say, really. I mean, playing in a less competitive league, maybe it keeps him fresh, less risk of injury. But if he's not playing at a high level week after week, maybe that affects his sharpness, his form, when it really matters.
So it's a gamble, high stakes for sure. Either it totally revitalizes his career or send it, in the wrong direction. I think that's what makes it so interesting to follow. It's like a real life drama playing out right in front of us.
It says a lot about pro sports in general, don't you think? That line between winning and losing is so thin, even the best can fall. When they do, it can happen fast.
Yeah, it's like a reminder talent alone isn't enough. You need that mental toughness, dedication, the ability to come back from setbacks. And Neymar, he's definitely got a lot to prove right now to everyone, including himself.
There's so much riding on this, but also a lot of potential for him to turn things around. The story's not over yet, that's for sure. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Speaking of what's next, he's got that game coming up against Agua Santa. One of the articles mentioned that Santos fans will have to be patient with him. Do you think they will be?
That's the big question, right? Patience is a virtue, as they say. But in football, not so much. If Neymar doesn't start bringing some wins soon, I think that patience is going to wear thin. Very thin.
Which takes us back to Santos. What can they do to create an environment where he can actually thrive? They brought in those forwards, Varane and Rollheiser, but it's not working that well.
It could be the tactics. Maybe the coach needs to change things up. Find a formation that works for Neymar and hides the team's weaknesses. But it's tricky, right? You don't want the whole team depending on one player, even someone as good as him.
It's that classic problem. Any team with a superstar, they have to figure that out. How to build a team that works, but also lets the star shine. The tough balance.
A puzzle that Santos needs to solve. If they want to change things around and give Neymar the support he needs to succeed, but it's not going to be easy, and it's definitely not going to happen overnight.
And that just adds to the whole fascination of this situation. There are so many pieces, so many things happening at once. It's complicated, no easy answer.
Like a chess game, every move changes everything else on the board. And Neymar's right in the middle of it all, trying to figure it all out with all these expectations, all this pressure, and so much uncertainty.
Let's zoom out for a second though. Think bigger picture. What does all this tell us about football right now? How players are viewed, the pressure they're under.
That's a great point. I think it shows just how intense it is for these players. Today in media, everything's connected. Every move they make is blown up, analyzed. And when you're someone like Neymar, those expectations are huge.
It's almost, I don't know, like a cautionary tale. Even the most talented players in the world face a struggle and things can change fast. And it's not always about what happens on the field, right? Personal stuff, problems off the field, what the media says, it all plays a role.
Absolutely. It all comes back to mental strength, discipline, that dedication to the sport. Talent by itself, it's not enough to stay at the top. You need support, the right mindset, and the ability to ignore the noise and focus on what matters.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm really curious, what stands out to you, the listener? What's the biggest takeaway from what we've talked about so far? It feels like, I don't know, a real turning point for him. We've talked about it all, right? The good, the bad, those flashes of brilliance. What stands out to you listening to all this about Neymar's journey?
I think for me, it's how this Santos move could go either way. Like on paper, it's the classic comeback story, back to his roots, rekindle that passion. But then you look at Santos, where they are as a team, their struggles, and it's a much tougher road than it seems.
Exactly. You'd think going back to where it all started would be this automatic boost. But if the team isn't working, doesn't it just add more pressure on him? He's supposed to be the savior, not just another player.
And that's why his mindset is so important now. Is he all in? Is he willing to work, even when it's hard? Because maybe, and it's a big maybe, this move could be exactly what he needs.
It's like a test, right, of his character. Will he overcome all this? Or will he fold under the pressure, go back to old habits? Those comments from his former coaches, they definitely make you wonder.
They were harsh, no doubt. But then you see those moments, those flashes of skill, like in that Corinthians game. So for me, it boils down to this. Can he find that consistency again? Can he be the leader Santos needs on the field and off it?
And what does that mean for Brazil? I mean, the World Cup's coming up in 2026. They need him at his best if they want to have a real shot.
It all connects, right? What happens with Santos, it's not just about him. it affects Brazil's chances too. If he does well, it could boost the whole national team. But if he doesn't, well, it could be a problem for everyone.
We've covered a lot today: challenges, criticisms, those glimmers of hope. I guess the biggest takeaway for me is that it's complicated, there's no easy answer, and we just have to wait and see what happens.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so interesting, right? The story's not finished. We'll be watching to see what happens next. Will he prove everyone wrong, or will he fade away? Only time will tell.
We've done our best to, really unpack all of this to help you understand what's really going on. But now we want to hear from you. What do you think? Is this a new beginning for Neymar, or is this the end? Let us know your thoughts, and until next time, dive deep.
All right, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're diving into something I think a lot of people are talking about: Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland. Who is better? And we've got Thierry Henry's analysis to help us break it all down.
It's interesting because it goes beyond just like looking at their stats. It's like we're looking at two different approaches to playing striker in modern football.
Yeah, it's true. And what perfect timing, right? I mean, we just had that Champions League game, Man City versus Real Madrid, Tuesday at the Etihad. That was intense.
Oh yeah, and both of them scored, which is crazy. Haaland got 2 goals, which just reminds everybody why he's just an absolute goal-scoring machine.
Oh, he was relentless, wasn't he? But, Mbappe's Real Madrid ended up winning 3-2, so it's clear that there's more to it than just goals.
Yeah, for sure. And this is where Thierry Henry's perspective comes in. He was asked, who's the better player, and he said Mbappe.
Interesting. I'm definitely curious to hear his reasoning.
Well, he said that Mbappe has more of a pass, which, it sounds kind of simple at first, but he's not talking about, like, passing accuracy. He's talking about Mbappe's playmaking ability, and his vision.
So it's about, seeing the entire pitch, not just thinking about scoring goals.
Yeah, and Henry was pointing out how Mbappe is evolving, right? Like, remember, he started as a winger known for his speed and dribbling, but now he's playing for Real Madrid. Arguably the biggest club in the world, in a more central role.
Wow. Yeah, that is a huge transition. For those of us who maybe aren't super into the tactics of football, can you explain what that central role really means?
Right, so it's all about positioning. As a winger, he was like out wide near the sidelines, but now as a central striker, he's in the middle of the pitch, closer to the goal. It's like a totally different skill set. So instead of using his speed to get past defenders, he's got to be more involved with build-up play. And, holding up the ball, creating chances for himself and his teammates. He's like the focal point of the attack.
Wow. So to adapt to that central role at a club like Real Madrid, that is not easy. It takes more than just scoring goals.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what Henry's getting at. This transition, it shows how adaptable Mbappe is. And his ability to, fit into a system that demands more than just scoring goals. It's about linking play, making the passes that set up chances and understanding how your teammates are moving.
So can you give me an example of what linking play looks like? It sounds pretty important.
Definitely. In the Man City match, there was this one play. Mbappe got the ball near midfield, and instead of, trying to dribble past everyone, he quickly passed to Benzema, who was making a run toward the goal. That's linking play. Knowing where your teammates are and making the smart pass to keep the attack going.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. So it's like he's orchestrating the entire attack. He's not just the one finishing it.
Exactly. And that brings us back to Haaland. Henry described him as a kind of a more traditional number 9, a classic goal scorer.
Got it. So what does that mean in terms of his actual play style?
Okay, think of Haaland as the guy who just lives for those moments in the penalty box, right in front of the goal. He's got amazing movement, he anticipates plays, and his finishing is clinical. He's super effective at what he does, but his main focus is on scoring.
Which, you can't deny, that's a pretty important job in football. 2 goals against Real Madrid, come on.
Right, no, absolutely. But like we saw in the match, winning is about more than goals, and that's why Henry is leaning toward Mbappe and his versatility.
So we have these 2 players, both at the top of their game, but they take such different approaches. What does this say about the striker position? Is it changing? Yeah, it's like we're seeing what it means to be a striker kind of change right in front of us. Is it enough to just be the best goal scorer? Or do you need to be good at other stuff too?
That's a really good question. And I think Mbappe moving to this central role at Real Madrid really shows us how it's changing. It's like watching him get better in real time.
Right, and it's more than just learning a position, right? It's like his whole game has had to change. He was already amazing as a winger, blowing past defenders with his speed.
Exactly, but to be a central striker, especially at a place like Real Madrid, he had to add a whole new part to his game. It's like he learned a new language, but for football.
So what kind of stuff did he have to add to his skill set?
Well, holding up the ball is one. As a winger, he could just use his speed to get past guys, but now he's often got his back to the goal with defenders all over him. He needs to be strong and aware, control the ball, buy time for his teammates to get into position and then make the right pass.
So it's less about him being amazing all by himself and more about helping the whole team attack.
Yes, exactly. And Henri seems to think Mbappe has really gotten good at this. He's not just scoring, he's like a complete attacker. He makes smart runs, opens up space for others, and he's like setting the pace of the game.
It's like he's conducting the whole attack, right?
It really is. And it makes you wonder if he keeps getting better like this, could he totally change what it means to be a striker?
Yeah, I mean, that's exciting to think about. But on the other side, you have Holland, who's already an amazing scorer. He's so precise, powerful, and he can score goals from like crazy positions.
Right. 2 goals against Real Madrid in the Champions League. That's not luck. The guy is a natural in the box.
So we've got these two different styles, two guys dominating the game in their own ways. I mean, is it even fair to compare them?
Well, that's the cool thing about football, right? There isn't just one right way to play. We have Mbappe changing into this complete player, and Holland, who's kind of like those classic number 9s. And they're both incredibly successful.
It's like they're pushing the limits of the sport in two different directions.
Exactly. And that's why this whole thing is so interesting. It's not about saying one guy's better. It's about enjoying how good they are and how they're changing what it means to be a striker.
So it's less about who's right or wrong and more about just enjoying the show.
Exactly. And you can't forget how fun it is to watch. These two is some of the most exciting players in the world. Mbappe with his amazing runs and Holland with those powerful shots. They bring something special to the pitch.
And that makes this whole debate so cool. It gets everyone talking and arguing and appreciating all the little things about the game.
For sure. Now, before we move on, I want to go back to Henry picking Mbappe. He really seems to see something special in his flexibility and adaptability.
But he also mentioned how good Holland is at scoring. So is there a chance that Holland just being so good at scoring so consistently ends up being more important?
That is something to think about, for sure. This is a discussion that people are going to have as long as these guys keep playing.
Yeah, and one we'll probably talk about again on future deep dives. But for now, for everyone listening, who do you think is going to come out on top in this battle of the strikers? And like, what makes you choose one over the other? Is it just about the goals, or are you looking at like the playmaking and how adaptable they are?
I think the reason people are so into this debate is because it's not just about numbers. It's like it makes us think about what we think is important in football. Do we want to see a guy who's just an amazing goal scorer like Holland, or are we more excited by someone like Mbappe who can do it all?
And it's really cool to watch how their careers are going. Mbappe decided to like really challenge himself by changing his game at Real Madrid.
Yeah, playing for Real Madrid, it's not easy. They expect a lot from you. It takes more than just being talented. You got to be mentally tough and able to adjust to anything.
And then you have Holland, who's killing it at Man City. They're like built to help him score goals.
It makes you think, how much of a player's success comes from the team they play for? Could Holland score as many goals somewhere else? Would Mbappe be as good at creating chances if he had different teammates?
It's like that nature versus nurture thing, but in football. And there aren't any easy answers.
Nope, and that's why this whole comparison is so fascinating. It's not just two awesome players, it's like two different ways of thinking about the game.
And I think that's what Henry was getting at. He sees Mbappe as someone who's changing what a striker can be.
Yeah, it's like watching the game evolve right in front of us. Is this kind of all-around striker going to be the new normal? Or is there always going to be room for those guys who just live to score goals?
Man, these are the questions that make us love football, the stuff that keeps us coming back. And as you watch Mbappe and Holland, continue their careers, keep these questions in mind.
Exactly. Watch how they change, how they handle new challenges, and how they keep making the game better. This isn't over yet, and I bet we'll be talking about them for years to come.
So for all you listeners out there, remember, there's more to football than what you see on the surface. Don't just pay attention to the goals. Look at the assists, the movement, all the little things that make a difference.
The real way to love football is to understand not just who wins, but how they play the game.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Mbappe versus Holland. It's a conversation that's going to keep going, and we're excited to see what happens next with these two amazing players. Thanks for listening. Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're going way back to the world of the Negro Leagues.
Ooh, okay.
And two players you may not have heard of, Wilbur Bullet Rogan and Norman Turkey Stearns.
Now, when you say may not have heard of, that's part of the story, right?
Exactly.
I mean, these guys were incredible.
Yeah.
Some say on par with some of the greats playing in the majors.
Absolutely, and that's why we're doing this deep dive. To shine a light on these incredible players, and we have something extra special today. We're bringing you firsthand accounts from family members who are keeping their legacies alive.
Wow.
So we'll hear from Bullet Rogan's grandson and Turkey Stearns' daughter.
Oh, I can't.
Let's start with Bullet Rogan. I mean, Bullet.
Yeah.
The nickname alone, what do you think? How do you get a name like that?
You got to be fast
Yeah.
and powerful.
Yeah.
He was a pitcher known for bringing the heat and a hitter who could really drive the ball.
Okay.
What's remarkable is that he was great at both.
A two-way player.
Exactly. You know, back then, two-way players weren't that unusual.
Right.
But to be truly great at both,
Yeah.
that was something else.
Absolutely. And his grandson, Carl Rogan, shares this great story about sitting on Bullet's lap as a kid
Oh,
and listening to stories about his grandpa striking out batters and
yes.
hitting home runs in the same game.
Oh, wait, in the same game?
Yeah.
Wow, talk about versatility.
Incredible, right? Okay, let's get into some of his stats.
All right, so we're talking a lifetime batting average of .338.
Oh, wow.
And get this, although records weren't always, perfect back then,
Right.
Rogan's estimated to have won over 250 games as a pitcher.
250.
It really makes you think. What if he had played in the majors? How would history remember him?
I know. It's incredible to think about.
Yeah.
And of course, we can't forget about his team, Kansas City Monarchs, the team he played for and eventually managed.
The Monarchs, powerhouse team of the Negro Leagues.
For sure.
It wasn't just about talent for them. Carl Rogan described the team as a family, a real support system through all of those challenges.
Yeah.
Segregation, unequal facilities,
Right.
difficult travel, playing under those circumstances.
Absolutely. What's inspiring about the Negro Leagues is just the resilience,
Yeah,
the camaraderie,
yeah,
the pure determination to excel no matter the obstacles.
absolutely.
It's really incredible.
It is.
And it really speaks to the power of community.
Yes, absolutely. Finding strength in each other even when the world outside isn't exactly welcoming. And that brings us to Norman Turkey Stearns, where Rogan was this multi-talented force. Stearns was known for his quiet strength and just this intimidating presence at the plate.
And he had the stats to back it up. We're talking about one of the most feared hitters in baseball history.
No exaggeration there.
Right.
He led the league in home runs 6 times. That's a testament to his power and consistency.
But here's the thing that really got to me. His daughter, Joyce Stearns Thompson, said he never bragged about any of it. She actually learned about most of his accomplishments from other people.
Imagine that being one of the most dominant hitters of your era and never boasting about it. It really says something about his character.
She simply knew him as dad. It's such a nice detail, but it also makes you wonder about the disappointment he must have felt knowing he had the talent to play at the highest level, but because of the color of his skin, he was denied that opportunity.
Absolutely. It's impossible to ignore the injustice of that era. But it's also important to acknowledge the pride he felt for what he was able to accomplish in the Negro Leagues. He said once, "We played our game, and we played it well."
It's a powerful statement, isn't it? They weren't defined by what they were denied, but by what they achieved, by the excellence they brought to the game day in and day out.
And that's a great point to emphasize. We often hear from historians that players like Rogan and Stearns were on par with, if not exceeding, the skill level of many major league players at the time.
It's just mind-boggling to think how different those record books might look if they'd had the same opportunities. What impact might they have had on the game as a whole?
It really raises an important question about how we understand and remember baseball history. For so long, the Negro Leagues were just a footnote, almost an afterthought.
And that's a disservice not just to the players, but to the fans who poured their hearts and souls into this league. They created something truly special, a vibrant, thriving baseball culture in the face of adversity.
It's important to recognize the Negro Leagues as an integral part of baseball history, not just a separate entity. These players were playing with the same passion, the same drive, the same level of talent as their major league counterparts. They deserve to be remembered alongside them.
And their stories remind us that baseball, like any sport, is a reflection of society. The struggle for equality in baseball is deeply intertwined with the fight for civil rights in America.
Precisely. The integration of Major League Baseball was a watershed moment, but it was a long time coming. We can't forget the pioneers who paved the way, not just Jackie Robinson, but all the players like Rogan and Stearns, who showcased black excellence in the face of incredible obstacles.
Their stories are a testament to the human spirit, to the power of perseverance, standing up for what's right, and never letting anyone tell you what you can't achieve.
It's a reminder that talent knows no boundaries, that potential exists everywhere, and it makes you wonder, what if everyone, regardless of their background or circumstance, had the same opportunities? What a different world it would be.
That's a great point. What really fascinates me is how these stories go beyond baseball. It's about recognizing the value of every individual and creating a world where everyone has the chance to contribute, to succeed, to make their mark. And that brings us back to the legacy of the Negro Leagues. How do we honor these players and these stories? And how do we make sure history doesn't repeat itself?
By remembering, by learning, by sharing what we've discovered, by supporting initiatives that promote diversity and inclusion in sports, and by challenging any form of discrimination that limits opportunity.
It's about making sure that every kid who picks up a bat or a glove, or dreams, any dream for that matter, has the chance to shine, regardless of who they are or where they come from.
The Negro Leagues may be a thing of the past, but their impact is still felt today in the diversity we see on the field, in the way we view the game, in the ongoing fight for equality in every aspect of society.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the lives of Bullet Rogan and Turkey Stearns, I have a challenge for you. Don't let their stories end here. Go online, look up some highlights, see their skill in action, share what you've learned.
Keeping their memory alive goes beyond baseball. It's about preserving a vital part of American history and making sure its lessons continue to inspire us. Ask yourself, what can we do to create a more equitable and just future where everyone, like Bullet Rogan and Turkey Stearns, has the chance to achieve their dreams against all odds?
That's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how they supported each other back then.
It's a powerful reminder of the strength of community, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that kind of brings us to Norman Turkey Stearns.
Okay.
Now, Rogan was this multi-talented guy.
Right.
Stearns was different, quiet strength,
Okay.
intimidating presence at the plate.
I like it.
Yeah, and the stats to back it up, one of the most feared hitters in history.
Really? Okay, let's hear it.
Led the league in home runs 6 times.
Wow.
Just shows his power and consistency.
That's incredible.
It is. You know what really gets me about Stearns?
What's that?
His daughter, Joyce Stearns Thompson, said he never bragged about any of it.
Oh, wow.
Never. She learned about most of it from other people.
You're kidding.
Nope. Imagine that. One of the greatest hitters and never boasting about it.
That says a lot about his character.
It really does.
I heard he was just that. It's a beautiful story. It kind of makes you think,
Yeah.
about the quiet disappointment he must have felt
Oh, yeah. Having that talent, but being denied the opportunity.
because of the color of his skin. Yeah.
It's hard to ignore the injustice of that time, but it's important to remember the pride he had in the league rooms.
Right.
He said once, "We played our game, and we played it well."
Powerful words, right?
They weren't defined by what they couldn't do,
Yeah.
but by what they achieved.
Exactly. Why their excellence day in and day out.
It's something we hear a lot from historians, actually.
Wow.
That guys like Rogan and Stearns were on par with, sometimes even better than major league players.
It's mind-blowing to think about those record books.
I don't know, right?
What if they'd had the same chances?
What impact could they have had? It really makes you think about how we remember baseball history, right?
Yeah.
For so long, the Negro Leagues were just an afterthought.
It's a disservice to those players and to the fans.
Absolutely. Those fans poured their hearts into it.
They built something special.
A whole culture. Vibrant, thriving, despite everything.
And that's what we need to recognize.
It's vital to see the Negro Leagues as part of baseball separate.
Not just a side note.
Exactly. They have the same passion, the same drive, the same talent.
They deserve to be remembered alongside those major leaguers.
Absolutely. And their stories remind us that baseball reflects society.
Oh yeah, for sure. The fight for equality in baseball.
It's tied to the civil rights movement.
It's all connected.
Integration was huge,
A turning point.
but it took a long time. You can't forget those who paved the way.
Not just Jackie Robinson.
Right. But guys like Rogan and Stearns showcasing black excellence through it all.
Their stories are powerful, showing the human spirit.
Resilience, standing up for what's right, never giving up.
It's incredible.
It's a reminder that talent is everywhere.
Yeah.
And you wonder, what if everyone had the same opportunity?
What a different world it would be, right?
Absolutely. And that's what fascinates me, you know? These stories go beyond baseball. It's about seeing the value in everyone.
Creating a world where everyone can contribute.
Exactly. Everyone can succeed, everyone can make their mark. And that brings us back to the legacy of the Negro Leagues.
Okay, so how do we honor them? How do we make sure history doesn't repeat itself?
By remembering, by learning, by sharing what we've discovered, supporting diversity and inclusion, challenging discrimination,
It's about making sure every kid, no matter who they are, has a chance.
a chance to shine with a bat, a glove, whatever their dream.
Absolutely. The Negro Leagues might be gone, but their impact is still here.
It's in the diversity we see on the field, how we view the game, the fight for equality everywhere.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Bullet Rogan and Turkey Stearns,
Yeah,
I have a challenge for you.
okay.
Don't let their stories end here. Look up some highlights,
See them in action.
Share what you've learned.
It's about more than baseball. It's about preserving history,
Right.
making sure those lessons inspire us. And ask yourself,
What can we do to create a better future?
where everyone has a chance to achieve their dreams.
Like Rogan and Stearns, against all odds. It's a reminder that talent has no boundaries. That potential's everywhere. And it makes you wonder, what if everyone had the same opportunities?
What if everyone, regardless of background or anything like that, had the same opportunities?
Yeah, what a different world, right?
It really is something to think about. What's so fascinating to me is how these stories, they just go beyond baseball,
No, absolutely. It's about the value in everyone.
creating a world where everyone can contribute.
Succeed, make their mark.
Yeah.
It all comes back to the legacy of the Negro Leagues, really.
Okay, so how do we honor these players? How do we honor these stories? How do we make sure that history doesn't repeat itself?
I think it starts with remembering, learning, sharing what we found,
Sharing what we've learned today for sure.
supporting diversity and inclusion, challenging any kind of discrimination that holds people back.
Making sure that any kid, no matter who they are or where they come from, has a chance to shine, whether it's with a bat or a glove, or reaching for any dream, really.
The Negro Leagues might be a thing of the past, but their impact is still felt today.
Oh, for sure. It's in the diversity we see in the game, how we view the game, the fight for equality everywhere.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Bullet Rogan and Turkey Stearns,
Yeah.
I have a challenge for you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Don't let these stories end here. Go online, look up some highlights, see these guys in action.
Share what you learned too.
Exactly, spread the word. It's about more than baseball, isn't it?
No, it's about preserving history, keeping those lessons alive.
So ask yourself,
What can we do to create a better future? A future where everyone, like Bullet Rogan and Turkey Stearns, has a chance to achieve their dreams.
against all odds.
Against all odds. That's what it's all about.
That's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
All right, picture this. Hitting a home run on your last swing. Like the very last one. Talk about ending your career on a high note, right? And that's exactly how Ted Williams, one of baseball's the greatest hitters, walked off the field. But, there's so much more to his story than just that last game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, just look at his batting average, right? .406 in 1941. It's crazy. Nobody has hit that high in over 80 years.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so we know, everyone knows he was a phenomenal player. But in this deep dive, what I really want to understand is, what made him tick? What was he all about? So we'll explore everything. His journey, starting from his childhood in San Diego, becoming this, legend, his time in the military, and even what he did after baseball.
And what's really fascinating is how his life kind of overlaps with some pretty big moments in American history. Like he lived through the Great Depression, served in World War II. way more than just a a sports story, don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's history. Okay, so take us back. San Diego during the Depression. That doesn't exactly sound like the easiest place for a kid with big dreams.
No, definitely tough times. But well, they say pressure makes diamonds,
Yeah.
right? And it was on those sandlots in San Diego where young Ted, where his love for baseball really took off. Like he lived and breathed the sport. You know what I mean?
So it was more than just raw talent then. He was driven even way back then.
Oh, absolutely. It was this incredible natural ability, but also this relentless work ethic. I mean, you went from those sandlots to just dominating in high school baseball, and then boom, he's making a name for himself in the minor league.
But the minor leagues were just like a pit stop, right, for someone like him. I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely. For someone with his talent, I mean, come on. And the Boston Red Sox, they saw it. They saw his potential, and well, they snatched him up pretty quick. And that's where sort of his major league journey really begins.
And then, bam, that incredible .406 season in 41. That wasn't just luck, was it? What made that season so amazing?
Oh, it's way more than consistency, right? I mean, try and wrap your head around this. Getting a hit in over 40% of your at bats, like for a whole season, it's almost like a superhuman. But Williams, he was meticulous. Like he studied pitchers, every move they made. He basically revolutionized the way people thought about hitting.
Hold on, revolutionized hitting. Okay, now I got to hear more about this. How did he do that?
Well, you got to remember, back then, hitting was, well, it was mostly seen as just an instinct, right? You see the ball, you swing. Williams, he approached it like a scientist. Like he understood the physics of the swing, the timing, the strike zone. He was one of the first to really bring it down like that.
So he was like a baseball nerd before being a baseball nerd.
So exactly. And his dedication, it paid off big time. Remember that story about him almost sitting out the last 2 games of the season just to protect his .400 average?
Yeah, what a gamble, right? But it seems like that kind of pressure, he thrived on it.
He did. He chose to play, risked his average for a chance to, really earn it. And that says a lot about him, don't you think?
Yeah, it really does. Now we know he served in the military, and that had to be a huge sacrifice. It's not like taking a couple weeks off,
Oh,
right?
no, not at all. It wasn't just to bring. I mean, imagine you're at the top of your game, and bam, World War II hits, and he puts his baseball career on hold to become a Navy flight instructor.
Wow. So he's a gifted athlete and a skilled pilot. Did he ever talk about how that wartime experience, how it affected him?
Oh yeah, for sure. He actually compared the discipline and focus you need in baseball to the military. He actually said that being in the service made him a better player.
That's incredible. But wait, did he serve again during Korea?
You got it.
I did.
As a Marine combat aviator this time. I mean, can you believe that? The guy missed, get this, 3 prime seasons of his career to serve his country.
3. And then he comes back. He still dominates.
It's mind-blowing, right? He came back and get this. He won 2 MVP awards and 2 Triple Crowns.
Whoa. Okay, hold on. I've heard that term triple crown, but I'm not sure what it actually means. Can you break that down for me?
Sure. So in baseball, a Triple Crown means you lead your league in batting average, home runs, and runs batted in. All in the same season. It's pretty rare, big deal.
Yeah, wow. That really puts it all in perspective.
Yeah.
So he's a war hero, a baseball superstar, and on top of all that, wasn't he a dedicated family man too?
Absolutely. Totally devoted to his family. And you know what's interesting? Even with all the fame and success, we never forgot where he came from. He was still that kid from San Diego. Always.
I'm curious, with everything going on, baseball, military, family, did he have any other passions, anything else he was into?
He did. And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
He was an avid, and I mean avid fisherman. Like, obsessed.
Fishing. That seems so different from, the whole intensity of baseball.
It was his escape.
Yeah.
He said it helped him clear his head, stay grounded. And his passion for fishing, it led to a whole second career, actually.
Wait, what? A second career? Okay, now I definitely need to hear more about this.
We will. But first, let's get back to his peak years in baseball. Remember those Triple Crowns we talked about? Let's dive into what made him such a force on the field.
All right, so we were talking about those incredible Triple Crowns that Ted Williams won, but it wasn't just racking up numbers, right? His impact on the game, it went way deeper than that, didn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We talked a little bit about how he approached hitting, like a science, but he really influenced, generations of hitters after him.
Okay, so paint a picture for me. What was baseball like before Ted Williams? How did he actually change things?
Back then, hitting was, well, a lot of it was just guesswork, really. You try to figure out what the pitcher was going to throw and then just react as fast as you could. But Williams, he had a different approach.
I'm guessing this is where all that studying of pitchers comes in, right?
Exactly. He'd spend hours, I mean, hours, looking over scouting reports, analyzing every little thing, their tendencies, arm angles, even how they grip the ball. He wanted to know everything before he even stepped into the batter's box.
So it was like he was playing chess, not just baseball.
That's a great way to put it. He wasn't just reacting; he was thinking, steps ahead.
Yeah.
And then there was his batting stance, legendary.
Yeah, that iconic stance. I've seen pictures. It's what was so special about it?
Well, it was pretty unconventional back then. I mean, he stood with his feet really wide apart, his weight back, and the bat like held up high. It almost looked awkward.
But I'm guessing it worked, right?
Oh, it worked. It gave him incredible power and control, and he was also like one of the first hitters to really focus on waiting for the perfect pitch.
So he had patience. He wasn't just swinging her for the fences every time.
Exactly. He knew that walks were just as valuable as hits. It was about getting on base, helping the team win, not just personal glory.
That's pretty insightful, especially for a guy who is known for having a bit of a fiery personality. Speaking of which, let's talk about that side of him. He wasn't exactly shy and retiring, was he?
He definitely had a reputation, outspoken, sometimes combative, even, especially with the media. He didn't back down from a confrontation. He spoke his mind, even if it rubbed people the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see how that might not have made him the most popular guy, in the locker room. But I also read that he was like fiercely loyal to his teammates.
Oh, absolutely. He demanded excellence from himself and everyone around him. But he was also a protector. He'd have your back in a fight, that's for sure.
So, complex guy, to say the least. But all that intensity, it must have led to some pretty epic rivalries, right?
Oh, definitely. And none bigger than, him and Joe DiMaggio, like the Clash of the Titans.
DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper. Now that's baseball royalty right there. What was it about their rivalry that really caught the public's attention?
It was more than just, two great players going head to head. It was a contrast in styles and personalities. DiMaggio, he was smooth, graceful, the epitome of cool, that Yankee cool. Williams, on the other hand, he was fiery, intense, that Boston spirit.
Sounds like the classic, like, good guy versus bad guy thing.
Maybe a little bit of that, yeah. But there was also mutual respect. They pushed each other to be better, and they both, I think, they recognized the greatness in each other.
But there can only be one winner in the end, right? And when it comes to numbers, Williams, he seems to come out on top.
True. His stats are, they're impressive, no doubt. But remember, DiMaggio has 9 World Series rings. That's pretty hard to beat.
World Series. The one thing that that eluded Williams, didn't it? It makes you wonder how people would remember him, if he had a championship ring.
It's one of those what ifs.
Yeah.
But even without a World Series title, his impact, I mean, come on, it's undeniable. We talked about his hitting. But let's dive into some of the other ways he left his mark.
Okay, so beyond the stats, how else did he, shape the world of baseball?
Well, he was a huge advocate for players' rights.
Yeah.
Back then, players didn't have the leverage they do now.
What do you mean?
They were at the mercy of the owners a lot of the time. No free agency, and they weren't always treated fairly. Williams was one of the first to really speak out about it, to demand better treatment, fairer pay for the players.
So he was a trailblazer, not just in his hitting, but in his willingness to stand up for what he believed in.
Absolutely. He wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo on and off the field. And that resonated with a lot of people, especially younger players coming up.
So he was a mentor too. That's not something I'd expect from, someone with his reputation for being tough, demanding.
It could be tough, yeah. But he was fair. And he had this deep respect for the game and anyone who was willing to put in the work. He was known for, sharing his knowledge, helping younger players get better.
That's pretty amazing. So he was a revolutionary hitter, an advocate for players, a mentor. Is there anything this guy didn't do?
Well, there was one area where he didn't have the same level of success managing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about his time as a manager. What happened there?
He managed the Washington Senators and later the Texas Rangers, but it just didn't seem to click. That fiery personality, his demanding approach, it didn't translate to managing.
So even the greats can't do
Because that's a good reminder, right? Being a great player doesn't automatically make you a great manager, a coach. Different skills, I guess.
All right, so we've covered a lot. His hitting, his time in the military, the rivalry with DiMaggio, even his less successful time as a manager. But I feel like we've only scratched the surface, you know?
There's so much more. We haven't even talked about his work with the Jimmy Fund, his second career as a fishing expert, and his complicated relationship with the media.
And I'm still curious about, you know, his legacy, how he's remembered today.
Well, stay tuned, because in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to explore all that. We'll uncover even more about this fascinating, complex figure.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the life and legacy of, well, Ted Williams.
Yeah, we've covered a lot. His hitting, the military, his personality, his impact on players' rights, but there's still more to discover.
You mentioned his work with the Jimmy Fund. It seems like that was really important to him, right?
Oh, absolutely. His dedication to the Jimmy Fund, supporting cancer research, it went way beyond just like lending his name. He was really involved, personally raised millions of dollars.
What do you think? What do you think drove that kind of commitment?
Well, remember he lost his mom to cancer when he was like just a teenager. That had to have a huge impact on him.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So he took that pain and turned it into something positive. You know, used his fame to make a difference.
Exactly. And visit kids in the hospital, did all these fundraising events, and he was always speaking out, advocating for research. It became a big part of his legacy, almost as much as his baseball achievements.
That's amazing how he used his fame for good. But we also left off talking about his second career, the whole fishing thing.
Yeah.
Did he really become a professional fisherman after baseball?
He did, and not just messing around. He was inducted into the IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame.
Wait, hold on. The Fishing Hall of Fame. I didn't even know that existed.
He approached fishing with the same intensity he brought to baseball. Studied fish behavior, experimented with different techniques, traveled all over the place looking for the biggest catches.
So that need to excel, that drive, it wasn't just in baseball.
Not at all. He even had a TV show about fishing. Sharing his knowledge, his passion.
Sounds like he really embraced life after baseball, found fulfillment in those other passions.
He did. It's interesting. His relationship with the media, which, well, he often struggled with that. It actually played a role in his fishing success.
Wait, really? How he was known for for clashing with reporters, right? Didn't that make things harder for him?
Well, in a way, yeah, it did. He could be abrasive, dismissive.
Yeah.
Created a lot of tension. But that same outspokenness, that unwillingness to sugarcoat things, it also made him pretty compelling on TV.
So his authenticity, even when it was kind of rough, it actually worked for him.
Exactly. People were drawn to that honesty even when they disagreed with him.
Okay, so we've talked about everything: his hitting, his military service, his charity work, fishing, his personality, even his struggles with the media. Feels like we've really come full circle.
We have, but now the big question: what's his legacy? What impact did he have on baseball, on American culture?
That's a tough one. He was a product of a different time, right? The world's changed so much. Do his accomplishments still matter to you?
I think so. Maybe even more so now. In this age of carefully crafted images, social media, his authenticity, it stands out. He was who he was. Flaws and all.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't afraid to be himself, even when it made him unpopular. But beyond his personality, what about his legacy in baseball itself? How does the sport remember him?
His impact, it's still felt in how players hit the ball. Studying pitchers, the strike zone, waiting for the perfect pitch. That's all fundamental now.
So what was revolutionary back then is like the standard today.
Exactly. And his fight for players' rights, it helped pave the way for the power players have today.
Wow. It's amazing how one person can have such a lasting impact, not just on the sport, but on the whole culture around it.
And it's interesting how his story keeps being told.
Yeah.
Books, documentaries, even movies. He still captures people's imagination.
Why do you think that is? What is it about Ted Williams that keeps people so fascinated after all these years?
I think it's the complexity. He was full of contradiction. Talented but flawed, driven but compassionate, outspoken but
not just a baseball card.
Right. And his story reminds us that greatness isn't just about, winning trophies. It's about pushing yourself, challenging the way things are, and striving for excellence in everything you do.
And maybe it's also about finding some time to go fishing.
That's the perfect takeaway. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the things that you'll remember most about Ted Williams?
For me, it's his work with the Jimmy Fund. It shows that even with fame, with fortune, you can still use your platform to help others.
That's a great one. For me, it's his commitment to excellence. Whether it was baseball, flying fighter jets, or even fishing.
Yeah, and I think we can all learn something from that. Whether you're a diehard baseball fan or just someone who appreciates a good story, Ted Williams' life, it offers some valuable lessons about passion, perseverance, and living a life well lived.
And with that, we come to the end of our deep dive. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of Ted Williams' incredible life.
And who knows, maybe it's inspired you to pick up a bat or a fishing rod or even just a book about this fascinating man. Thanks for joining us.
All right, so get this. You want to know about this Four Nations face-off thing, eh?
Sounds like it.
You sent over like a ton of articles and stats, even some handwritten notes. I mean,
Someone's done their homework.
you're serious about this, huh? USA, Canada, Sweden, Finland, like the classic hockey showdown.
Absolutely.
But here's where it gets interesting, okay? Star players injured. Rising star gets a chance. And then there's this whole brother thing
Yeah.
within Team USA. I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's fascinating though how this tournament, it's like a preview, almost like a crystal ball for the future stars of the NHL.
Well, like that.
You see these young guys going up against these seasoned pros.
Yeah.
It can make or break a career.
Wow, crystal ball.
Yeah.
And speaking of potential career shifts,
Yeah.
we got to talk about Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
He's out of the tournament, isn't he? Big loss for Team USA.
Huge loss. Quinn Hughes is the Vancouver Canucks top defenseman. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a key player for Team USA.
Yeah.
He's been amazing this season, leading the Canucks with 59 points.
Wow.
And now he's sidelined.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, what is it?
adds to the intrigue, doesn't it?
It really does. He played almost that entire game against Dallas. He even got an assist.
Right.
Then only 3 shifts in the last 15 minutes, looking uncomfortable on the bench, and then warming up for the next game and didn't play.
Yeah.
Like, what happened?
Makes you wonder.
I know.
What's interesting here is this whole idea of personal goals versus professional risks.
Oh, yeah.
The Canucks coach, Rick Tocchet,
Yeah.
even said that Quinn is a true USA guy,
Really?
loves playing with his brother,
Oh.
but smart enough to understand what's at stake.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly a tough decision for him.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the guy who's stepping into Quinn's shoes.
Yeah.
Jake Sanderson,
Okay.
22 years old defenseman for the Ottawa Senators.
This is where things get interesting.
Okay.
Sanderson's got 35 points in 55 games this season,
Right.
but it's his career trajectory that really gets me.
That's all they
105 points in 211 total games.
about.
You mentioned in your notes that you were really intrigued by his potential.
I am.
This tournament could be his breakout moment.
Totally. It's like the classic underdog story.
Right.
Young player gets his shot because of an unfortunate circumstance.
Exactly.
But hold on. You said Hughes' brother,
Yes.
as in there's another Hughes on Team USA.
You got a Jack Hughes forward for the New Jersey Devils.
Wow.
This would have been their first time playing together internationally. Can you imagine the family dinners?
Oh, yeah.
Now it's a whole different kind of pressure for Jack.
Okay, so we've got a missing star, we've got a potential new star, and we've got a brother carrying the family legacy, and they're all on Team USA.
Yeah,
And their first game is against Finland, right?
that's right.
And you marked this one in your notes with a big exclamation point.
I did.
Right.
You mentioned you're fascinated by Finland's defensive style.
I am.
And you should be. What's interesting is that they play this system that really emphasizes collective responsibility and puck control,
Really.
almost like a human wall. Makes them incredibly difficult to break down. And it puts a ton of pressure on the other team's offense.
So no easy wins here.
Not at all.
And this is all going down Thursday night at the Bell Center in Montreal,
That's right.
airing on multiple channels, you said.
Yep, this is appointment viewing.
Okay. So Team USA facing a tough Finnish squad.
Yeah.
Their first game, Quinn Hughes is out. Quinn Hughes is out. Jake Sanderson is in piss. Jack Hughes is carrying the family banner.
Uh-huh.
The whole hockey world's watching. It's like a movie. But before we dive into the specifics of that USA-Finland clash,
Yeah.
let's zoom out and talk about the Four face-off as a whole? What are we really looking at here?
This is a battle for hockey supremacy. Think of it as a preview of potential Olympic matchups,
Yeah.
where these countries are kind of sizing each other up.
Also, like national pride's on the line.
Absolutely.
But you also highlighted some potential rule changes being discussed.
You're interested in the evolution of the game. Always there's this tension between tradition and making things exciting for fans.
Yeah.
One of the biggest changes being discussed is the 3-on-3 overtime. It's already a hit in the NHL.
Yeah.
More open ice, more scoring chances.
I love it.
Give them chaos.
Chaos.
All right, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. First up, Team USA versus that Finnish human wall.
Exactly. And that's where our deep dive gets really interesting. We've laid out the players, the stakes, the styles.
Okay.
Now it's time to see how it all plays out on the ice, like we're watching a poker game
Ooh,
with hockey sticks and pucks.
I like that. Okay, so we set the stage for the opening game.
Right.
But let's not forget about the other teams in the Four Nations face-off.
Absolutely.
Canada, Sweden, they each bring their own, flair to the tournament. You even had a whole section of your notes
I did.
dedicated to comparing their playing styles,
Oh, yeah.
which I have to say was pretty insightful.
Well, thank you.
So let's start with Canada,
Okay.
the reigning champs.
They always bring a stacked team.
They do.
What stands out to you this year?
Their experience, they have a core group that's been playing together for a long time,
Yeah.
both in the NHL and internationally.
Yeah.
And that kind of chemistry, that's a major advantage.
So it's not just about individual talent. It's like
Yeah.
that sixth sense they have on the ice.
You got it.
But you pointed out that Canada tends to play a very specific style.
Right. They're known for being that physical, aggressive,
Yeah.
strong forechecking, creating turnovers, relentless attack.
Wow.
They're not afraid to throw their weight around,
They've got
dictate the pace of the game.
intense, and they've got Connor McDavid,
Oh, yeah.
arguably the best player in the world right now.
Hard to argue with that.
Can't talk about Team Canada without mentioning him.
Absolutely not. McDavid is electrifying to watch.
I know.
Incredible speed, skill, playmaking ability.
Yeah.
He's a threat every time he touches the puck.
Wow. And Nathan McKinnon.
Oh, yeah. Another elite forward known for his power and scoring touch.
Okay, so they've got the experience, they've got the physicality, they've got the star power.
Yeah.
Canada's definitely the team to beat.
I think so.
But what about Sweden?
Okay.
You mentioned in your notes that they have a different approach.
Yeah, Sweden's fascinating.
Okay.
All about puck possession, creative passing, controlling the flow of the game.
Okay.
Not as physically imposing as Canada,
Right.
but they can be just as dangerous.
So it's more of a chess match with them.
Exactly. Strategic, calculated moves.
I like it.
They're patient, they wait for their opportunities,
Yeah.
and they can really dismantle a team with their precision passing.
Wow.
It's almost like watching ballet on ice.
Ballet. I never thought I'd hear hockey compared to ballet.
Well, there you go.
But I love any standout players on Team Sweden that we should watch for.
You specifically highlighted Rasmus Dahlin,
I did.
and I agree he's one to watch.
Okay.
Young, dynamic defenseman, already considered one of the best in the NHL.
Yeah.
Incredible skating ability and puck handling skills. A real game changer from the back end.
So he's like the Swedish version of Cale Makar,
Yeah, you could say that.
that young star on Team Canada's defense.
Yeah, they're both offensive-minded defensemen who can control the game with their skating and puck skills. And then on offense, Sweden has Elias Pettersson, a veteran forward known for his playmaking and goal scoring.
Oh yeah.
They've also got Lucas Raymond, a young up-and-comer who's been making a splash in the NHL.
It's interesting how Sweden just consistently produces these incredibly skilled players. It's like they've got the secret hockey academy
Right.
where they just churn out talent.
Well, they do have a very strong hockey development system.
Yeah.
It's also their culture.
Yeah.
Hockey is ingrained in their national identity, and they place a huge emphasis on skill and creativity.
Makes sense. Okay, and we've covered Canada.
Yeah,
We've covered Sweden. We can't forget about Finland.
right.
We already talked about their disciplined style.
Yeah.
Their human wall defense, especially going into that first game against Team USA.
Right.
But are there any individual players on Finland that stand out?
You mentioned Alexander Barkov.
I did.
He's definitely one to keep an eye on.
Okay.
Veteran forward, not flashy, but incredibly effective.
Yeah.
Think of him as the engine that keeps them running.
Reliable, consistent, the kind of player every team needs.
Every team.
But I'm curious, with all these powerhouse teams, who do you think has the edge in this tournament?
That's the $1 million
What's your expert prediction?
If I had to pick, I'd say watch out for Sweden.
Really?
Yeah. They might fly under the radar, you know, compared to Canada's star power.
Yeah.
But I think their style of play, it could be the key to unlocking this tournament.
So you're saying don't just focus on the flashy plays. Pay attention to that strategic, chess-like approach.
Exactly. That's what makes the Four Nations face-off so unpredictable, though.
Right.
Any team can win it.
Yeah.
It really is, like you said earlier, a high-stakes poker game where anything can happen.
Okay, speaking of unpredictable,
Yeah.
let's bring it back to Team USA's opening match against Finland.
Okay.
You highlighted this game as a potential turning point.
It could be
And with Quinn Hughes out, the stakes are even higher.
a baptism by fire for Team USA. Remember that human wall we talked about?
Oh, yeah.
Finland's going to try to shut down Jack Hughes,
Yeah.
limit their scoring chances, and just frustrate them into making mistakes.
Oh, I see.
A classic clash of styles.
Because if Team USA wants to win, they need to find a way to crack that Finnish defense.
They do.
But they also need to stay disciplined themselves,
Yeah.
not take any dumb penalties, and capitalize on any chances they get.
Got it.
This is where that crystal ball aspect comes in, right?
Absolutely.
We're not just watching a game, we're potentially seeing the future of Team USA unfold.
Well, precisely. And this is what you were getting at in your notes when you talked about those individual storylines.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Sanderson stepping onto the world stage for the first time, trying to fill the void left by Quinn Hughes. Jack Hughes carrying the weight of expectation and family legacy on his shoulders. It's heavy stuff.
It's like Shakespearean.
It is.
The missing hero, the ambitious understudy, the brother seeking redemption. It's all playing out